Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Ellie Campster.
And me, Liam Underwood. And in this episode, we decided after a couple of episodes where we tackled some heavier going topics.
Yeah, not just heavy. Sometimes, had to have a little bit of serious discussion in both of them.
Yeah. Hiroshima.
Yep, pretty intense. Transgender issues in the last episode.
Yeah, which was a long one.
Yeah, the discussion last episode was maybe one of the longest culture swaps, not including when you reviewed all 3 Santa Claus films.
That was brilliant though, wasn't it?
That might take the medal for longest culture swap.
I actually think you'd be surprised how short that actually is.
Oh, sorry, maybe it just felt like a lifetime.
Yeah, it probably did. But do you know how long the discussion went last?
Go on. Last episode, I think the episode was 2.5 hours, and I think an hour and a half of it was culture swap.
Okay.
I think that's just me off the top of my head. It was around there, maybe.
I can tell you that the Santa Claus discussion was only 35 minutes long.
Felt like forever.
So that probably doesn't even crack our top 5 for longest culture swaps.
No, I think that would be when we've had Jason and Lee on.
Oh, Jesus.
Or we always have very in-depth discussions with Jason and Lee.
They like a natter, don't they?
Don't try and blame them. Don't turn what I was saying into something negative.
No, we love having all of our guests on, to be honest.
Yeah.
Not just Jason and Lee, although we do like having
guests.
them on too. But I think every guest brings...
I feel like you're digging a hole, Liam, where you're making it seem like no, I don't think anyone was sitting there being like, I think they prefer some of their guests over others.
We do.
But now you're making, even though we don't, you're
I
now...
do.
Oh, okay, well, let's just move on. Liam.
Yeah, in this episode, we're going to be talking about My Girl.
Yeah, not at all a deep film. Don't have to have any serious discussions, and none of it will be depressing. So that's good.
Yeah, it's a nice, light, frilly movie.
Sorry, frilly?
Frilly, yeah.
We've not even got to the culture swap, and your innate sexism is starting to creep in.
Wait, what's sexist about the word frilly?
You made a massive point last time. At the end of last episode, you made such a big deal out of the fact that one of your favourite films had a female protagonist, and you've started this episode by describing that as frilly.
Yeah, light and frilly. Should I have said frothy instead?
I don't know.
I mean,
we're off the rails.
Is frilly a gendered word?
No, I don't think so. But just the way you said it, comboed with how you phrased it last episode, I think has triggered me.
Right, well, moving swiftly on.
Yeah, let's just... Jesus. What have you been up to, Liam?
Well, introduce it proper. Come on.
Now it's time for everyone's favourite part of the show, catching up with Ellie and Liam. So, Liam, what have you been up to?
Let me do it right for you. Okay, so before we get to talking about My Girl and all of the fun that will entail, it's time for Ellie's favourite part of the show, catching up with Ellie and Liam. You've got to lead into it properly.
Yeah, all right, mate. What have you been up to?
We've done 70 episodes now. You think you know how it goes.
I learnt the intro.
Well done. And also our social media stuff, because I still don't remember our Facebook one.
I can do some of the social media.
Yeah. I've been busy.
I think everyone's seen, haven't they?
If they follow my personal Twitter account, then it's possible they have, yeah. I was getting hairs ripped from my skin.
With hot wax.
Yeah, I went for my very first ever wax.
How was it?
Well, okay. Let me just start from the beginning.
It sounds like you're having a war flashback.
Well, that could be how it was.
All right, go on. So,
right.
Tell me the tale.
I've been wanting to do this for a while now.
Yeah, you've been asking me and Dan quite recently whether either of us have been waxed. Yeah. Whether you should go and get waxed.
And to be fair, I think I asked you a while ago as well. I think both of you.
Yeah, no, you've definitely brought it up in the past as well, but it resurged recently.
Yes. And I've always said I would love to go do it, but I wanted Kat to come with me for emotional and moral support.
Yeah, which personally I think is I get, but also you're a grown man.
Yeah, I know, but it's quite funny because Kat was saying when we were sat outside, she was like, it's weird how we both handle scary situations differently, because Kat would have absolutely hated to have me there, Whereas I liked having hair there, but I think that's more... It's not how we as individuals handle situations. It's more how our partners help us with those situations.
Yeah, got you. Cat is actually helpful and you're a hindrance.
Yeah, I'd have probably just been winding her up and making her more stressed about the whole thing. Anyway, so, for a while now, you look at Zac Efron's amazing body, it's not that hairy, is it?
No. Not as hairy as yours.
No, and I think he gets waxed.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So, now, obviously I'm not saying that my body looks even remotely like Zac Efron's.
I hope you aren't, because it doesn't.
Not even a little bit. But, you know, I growing up, and probably throughout most of my 20s, I was really, really like, insecure with my body.
Yeah.
Like, I used to wear, like, you know, like, typical teenagey thing where you'd wear, like, the big hoodie.
Yep. Baggy jeans, hoodie.
Yeah.
Torn up shoes.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I was what in the UK we would label as a grunger.
Yeah, I was a grunger too.
Yeah. So, and I always... A part of this was just, like, misplaced optimism. But I always used to buy clothes that were, like, a size too big. In, like, thinking, oh, I'll grow into them. Like, I never quite got out of that mindset.
Oh, oh, Jesus. I had the image of 25-year-old Liam in a shop going, I'll grow into this.
No, I mean, like, I probably stopped growing when I was, like, I don't know, 16. But I was still buying, like, medium-sized T-shirts when I'm actually a small.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I don't know, I've struggled. It was only really in the last, like, 2 years I actually started wearing clothes that fitted properly. Like, if you look at some of the images from our uni days...
Yeah.
I'm just drowning in some of the T-shirts that I'm wearing.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I feel like at uni we were very much still in the, like, in that phase of sort of not body shame, but like insecurity with your body.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I think me and you probably would have had maybe not a similar style, but the cut and sizes of our clothes were probably the same in terms of being too big for us.
Yeah, I think so. And it's only really lately since... Because I've been going to the gym now somewhat consistently for about 3 years, I think.
Yeah. It's impressive.
It's only really in the last, like, 6 months that I've started to get a bit more comfortable with how I look.
Yeah.
So, like, hence the whole, like, going swimming sort of thing. Like, one of the big factors that put me off of doing that in the past would have been not liking how I look in just swimming trunks. Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Just this is still on topic, but slightly tangenting from the story.
Yeah.
I don't know what the correct word there would be. But,
tangentially?
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe.
But,
I don't know.
Neither do I. It's kind of interesting how I feel like... Because you, to me, have never had a bad body. Like, I don't think...
Thank you very much.
I'd have never looked at you and been like, oh, fucking Liam. Old tub over there.
Yeah.
But, like, I know you've always had it, because I remember in uni you being like, oh, I'm getting, like, a little bit of a paunch.
Yeah.
And then there's me sitting next to you, and I'm like, how the fuck is this kid worried about his weight?
Yeah. And that's the other thing.
I'm not saying that you're wrong to think that.
Yeah.
Because I think everyone has their own personal body issues. Like,
yeah, well...
And I don't think it's fair to compare it to other people's. But, yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
It's just interesting.
I'm not, you know... We want a nice, like, fun episode, so I don't want to make it too
fuck,
serious.
we're off to a bad start.
Yeah, when I was, like, in year 4, I think it was. So that's what, like, 8 or 9 years old, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, so when, as a baby, my mum called me a Buddha baby. I was a fat little thing, right?
Yeah, okay.
And I was quite chubby throughout, like, the early years of high school, or not high school, the early years of just school, like primary school and nursery. And then at the age of like 8, 9, I got gastric enteritis.
I think you've told me this before, maybe?
Possibly, yeah. And the doctor that I had at the time prescribed me with something that made it worse. So...
Oh, good.
Yeah, I lost like a load of weight and apparently I came really close to dying or something.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And then ever since then, though, I was like really skinny and I had like real bad issues with putting weight on. Even throughout uni, it was when I started working from home after uni and my diet consisted mostly of chocolate and pizza.
Yes, I remember that. I think that was when I'm remembering you saying I'm starting to get a paunch.
Yes, because I also, like, working from home, I wasn't also leaving the flat at all either.
No, you were very much staying in the flat.
Yes, so that's when I first noticed it. And that's when I was, like, self-conscious of that. But before that, I was always self-conscious of being this, like, skinny, sort of awkward-looking creature.
Got you. So it went both ways of it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's only now that I've been, like, hitting the gym, and I'm still not exactly where I want to be, but I'm a little bit more comfortable with how it all looks.
Yeah.
So me and Kat are going on holiday next week to Croatia, where, if all goes according to plan, it's going to be quite nice weather in, like, the late 20s, early 30s, I think.
So sun's out, guns out.
Well, we've got a swimming pool in our hotel, so I'm thinking I'm going to want to, get in that, which will require getting the top off. And then the other, like, body image issue that I had was the amount of hair there was.
Yeah, because you are hairy.
Yeah, I'm not like Robin Williams hairy.
No, you're not a monster.
But, well, no. But it's also, like, it's not Zac Efron smooth, is it?
No. You have hair. Or had hair.
Well, exactly. So, I don't know why, but Kat finally agreed to come with me to have it done.
Yeah, I don't understand why she finally caved.
I don't know either. I think she wanted to get her nails done for the holiday.
So she was like, well,
she was
going there anyway.
Yeah, might as well drag Liam along. So Kat booked it all, which was very nice of her. And we get there, and I'm a bit nervous. The lady behind the counter says to Kat, "Oh, my client that I was going to have now has cancelled on me, so I can, get started with the nails now, and the waxing lady will be ready for your partner in about 5 to 10 minutes." And I sort of looked at Kat, and I was like, nah. And
really, Liam?
Yeah, I made Kat come in with me. So yeah, I was just, I wasn't feeling great about it. I was absolutely fine.
What were you worried about, though?
There was several issues going on in my head. One was the pain factor, because I had no, like, frame of reference for how it would feel.
Yeah.
Because people say it's like ripping a plaster off, right? But it's not.
It's like ripping a plaster off a hairy place.
Yeah. But it's also not quite like that, because I've had to take plasters off before, and I really struggle with it. So, like, I was kind of like, I don't know, I wasn't sure if that's what I should be expecting or something different. I also just wasn't particularly kind of sure what to expect, like, just how the whole thing would unfold. So, like, I don't know. There was just so many things going on in my mind that were sort of, like, freaking me out a little bit. So I made Kat wait with me.
Such a child.
I know. And then we go in, and she was a nice lady. She seemed quite timid, but I'll tell you what, when she starts going at it, she didn't seem that timid when she was, like, yanking thousands of hairs out of me.
Yeah, well, that's how they got to do it. The faster they do it, the better it is.
Yeah. The thing that was, like, really helpful having Kat there is, I think the woman, like, I was very honest. I was like, look, this is my first time. I have no idea what to expect. I'm not super looking forward to this.
Yeah.
And the woman, like, was kind of trying to do the polite, like when you go to a hairdresser, they try and make small talk, and it's sort of things like, oh, is there, like, an occasion that you've come to get this done for? And it was quite handy, because I could sort of be like, oh yeah, we're going on holiday, and then I could, like, deflect the question to Kat, so I could focus on just being a big brave boy, and Kat could handle.
But I think the reason they're doing the small talk, especially in, like, waxing and stuff, is it lets you take your mind off of the waxing. So I think you were probably just confusing her more when she's like, I'm trying to help him, and he's just being like, my girlfriend will tell you.
Yeah. I mean,
look, I'm not crying.
At one point, like, we got to talking about Zac Efron. I don't even know how it came up. Yes, I do.
You were probably just whimpering his name under your breath.
No, she we were talking about the holiday, and then we mentioned, like, that we went to Canada earlier this year for my 30th, and then she asked how I spent my 30th birthday.
Right.
So I obviously had to tell her that.
Yeah.
That's how Zac Efron came up.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
And there was this really awkward bit where she was like, she said that she'd gone to see The Greatest Showman, and she thought he was handsome in it, but she said afterwards her friend told her that Zac Efron was only 5'5".
Is that true?
This is the thing, because he's not. But
No, I didn't think he was small.
no, I'm trying to get like the official weight, but for some reason Google, yeah. So he's similar to my height. He's not the tallest, but he's 5'8".
Yeah.
And I was in this really awkward position where I didn't want to turn around to her and be like, actually.
No, you should have. At this point, Liam, if you told her you spent your 30th birthday dressed up as Zac Efron,
I didn't say I was dressed up as him.
wearing his face.
Yeah, I left some of it out.
Oh, okay. Well, she probably thought you were a super fan anyway.
Oh yeah, I said it was a Zac Efron thing, but I mentioned how he ate his face.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
So, I mean, at that point, if you'd have said, no, he's actually 5'8", she'd have probably been like, well, that makes sense. This guy knows.
yeah. So yeah, that put me at ease a bit, getting to think about him.
Of course.
Yeah. We started with the back, and I was quite confident with that, because I had like, this might be too much information for our listeners, but fuck it. I had like a hairy patch at like my lower back in the middle.
Yeah.
But the rest is relatively, smoothish.
Okay.
She did the whole thing anyway, but she sort of built up to the hairy patch. And it was weird. The bit that hurt the most, in all honesty, was the wax being put on.
Yeah, because it's hot.
It's really hot. It was like hotter than I was expecting it to be. And then when it comes to just like the ripping it off, most of that was okay. Most of it.
Yeah.
The back went okay. When she got to like the patch, it wasn't great, but I could handle it. When the back was done, Kat was like, right, I'm going to go get my nails done. You can handle it from here. I was like, yeah, all right. So you go into this room. There's this like supposedly relaxing music playing, but I didn't think it was that relaxing.
Yep, they play the relaxing music. I like that.
Yep. And she was like, oh, so if you just take your top off. And that was one of the bits that I was just a bit like nervous about beforehand.
You were hoping that there might be a chance she could do one of those famous top waxes where you leave your top on.
Yeah. But no, so I whipped it off and everything. But I was just a bit like, oh, don't judge. And I laid sort of face down on this like weird bed thing, and then they put this like lotion on you first.
Yeah. Yeah, to open up your pores to make it easier for them to pull the hairs out.
Yeah. Then they did the waxing. Then they put like another lotion on. Then I had to roll over to do my chest. Oh, I wanted like my belly and some of my chest done, but I wanted to keep like something in the middle.
Yeah, like a sort of 60s porn star.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Kat said it would look weird if I was completely hairless from the waist up, but like still with like my hairy legs.
Yeah, I don't know if it would be weird, but I guess on like close inspection, someone might be like, "Oh, something doesn't add up here."
Yeah, exactly. She did the belly. That really hurt, and then she had to trim some of it.
She had to trim it.
Yeah.
Well, because it was too long to wax.
Yeah.
We got you.
I think she waxed a bit, and it like I've still got a mark there now where it went a bit wrong. Like
What came off?
I think some skin. In all honesty, so she trimmed the rest, and the rest went quite well. But I've got like this purple mark above my belly button that is probably going to be there for the holiday. In all honesty.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's not that. I don't think anyone's going to look at it and be like, "Oh my god, look at that guy and his waxing injury."
Yeah. It just
You're fine.
At the moment, it does look a bit unsightly, but we've got like another 3 days for it to calm down.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Okay, so go have a look at how that looks." And she'd only done my belly at this point, so I went, and then it sort of seemed like she was wrapping up, and I was like, "Well, hang on a second." So I then had to like specifically say, "Can we also do my nipples?" Which just it's not something you ever really want to have to say, like out loud to a stranger.
No, that's fair.
So she was like, yeah, not a problem, lie back down. Did those. Now, I'll be honest, that was the bit that I thought would hurt the most. But it was the belly. It was the skin coming off the belly that hurt the most.
Well, yeah, obviously. The bit that went wrong hurt the most. That makes sense.
But generally, I was actually quite surprised at how... I don't want to say how little it hurt, but like it wasn't that bad.
Well, I've told you that before.
Yeah, but I don't believe you.
Well, you should, because I told you that.
Yeah, but nah.
It's like... Because when I was on that summer camp...
Yeah.
1 year for like a charity thing, because they always raise money for charity on camp. One of the staff was like, "Oh, we'll wax like some of the male staff's legs," and only me and my dad had the balls to be like, "Yeah, that's fine, do it." And my dad had it done and was just like screaming like a baby.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my God, it's so painful.
Yeah.
And then the staff member did it to me and I was like, that's fine. That doesn't... It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. I was expecting it to be a lot worse. Like, I had done a bit of Googling beforehand. And
never Google this kind of shit.
Yeah, I know. But
Come on, Liam.
I wanted to know what to expect, and I was nervous. But yeah, it was honestly just the belly that was the worst. The nipples actually weren't that bad. And then she was like, "Oh, I need to just sort of tidy the chest up a little bit because at the moment it looks very obvious that you've just had your nipples waxed."
Yeah, obviously.
So yeah, but that was fine. Apparently, I should go back in another 4 weeks, and it won't hurt as much.
Yeah, no. Did your person mention to you virgin hairs?
No.
So when I had my eyebrows done,
Yeah.
The lady was like, at the end, she did it all, and then she was like, "I don't know whether to show you this because I think it might freak you out."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Right," and she was like, "So don't be alarmed, but I just want to tell you that this is funny." And then she showed me a mirror, and my eyebrows like were bleeding slightly.
Right.
And she was like, "That's called virgin hairs." So she basically the idea is they took your virgin hair virginity.
Right. Okay.
Because the hairs have been just grown normally there and
Yeah.
then get ripped out. They've like built up connections and stuff over years.
Like Facebook.
Yeah. They're like Facebook friends with all the other eyebrow hairs is the word.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And then so when they first pull them out, they bleed. But then because that's then only new hairs grow after that.
Yeah.
It becomes easier and easier to take them out because your pores adapt to it, the hairs adapt to it. So eventually, Liam, you'll walk in and they'll just like blow on you, and your hairs will fall off into the perfect pattern.
Perfect. That sounds good. Yeah, like because at the moment, so this happened like yesterday at 3:45. I remember the time. We're now recording the next day. It's currently 9:00, and I still have like 2 big red patches around my nipples.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it goes down soon.
It will. And again, if you go and do it more, that will probably not happen as much as well.
Yeah, I did say to Kat, like, it wasn't such an awful experience that I'm put off of doing it again. The problem is, now that I know I can do it, I'm starting to think about other stuff.
Full body.
I don't want to do a full body
Bikini wax.
But like we've discussed before my issues with hair and stuff.
You're going to get your ass crack waxed.
I'd like to, but I'm scared. That like really
I think you have to find a
scared.
specialist person to do it. I don't think that's something that everywhere offers.
No, I don't think it is. But equally, the other thing is, I don't know morally if that's something that I can put another person through.
No, you definitely can. If someone is a specialist in doing it, Liam, again, I want to specify this to you because I think you think you're worse than you are.
I
don't think
it's awful.
Yeah, but I don't think you're as bad as it gets.
There's probably worse, but
I bet those people get it waxed. I bet you.
Is it like...
I think you're over worried about it. These people, if it's their job and they are trained to do it, you're not going to walk in and they're going to like vomit everywhere and be like, "My God, there's just so much hair."
So there's 3 kind of key areas, okay? So
bum crack.
There's the bum crack, and now here's the question: you know, like porn stars have the runway strip.
Yeah.
I'm nervous that my sort of bum afterwards is going to look like a reverse of that, where there's like a runway strip of just clear hair down like the middle.
Well, yeah, you probably again, if they're trained to do it, they'll probably know how to like style it into something that isn't just a fucking.
But are they going to have to do like
on
the
your
whole
bum
arse?
crack?
Is what I'm wondering. Or should I do the whole arse?
Well, you just talk to them, Liam. I'm not an expert in bum crack waxing.
There's the other bit that like really makes me nervous.
If it's your penis, don't do it.
No, well, there is the shaft.
Just shave your penis.
But what about the balls?
Just shave them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I think you can. I don't know if you can get them waxed. Because it's like you're not meant to get your face waxed because the hairs on your face, there's like a different type of thing there, and they can bleed a lot worse, and it can actually be dangerous to have your face waxed.
Balls are fine. You got the back sack and crack thing. It's a common thing to get the balls done.
Is it?
Well, I don't know if common's the right word, but it's like it is something that is offered. It came up in my research when I was googling what to expect.
Oh, now I'm starting to understand what you meant by research.
There are some like handy questions. So one of the questions was, should I be worried about getting aroused? I think this was specifically if you were getting like one of those regions done.
Yeah.
And the answer was just don't worry about it. They're professionals. Just don't expect them to do anything about it.
Obviously. What?
Yeah.
That shouldn't have to be specified.
Yeah, it just say like you might have to like help them with moving things out of the way. But yeah, I don't know. The balls make me really nervous, but I would love to have like perfectly hairless balls.
Why don't you just shave them?
I've tried it in the past and I nicked myself, and it really put
Yeah,
me
but
off.
you should do it properly this time.
I tried doing it properly.
I know you. I don't think you did.
It's hard.
Liam, you have to get your girlfriend to help you towel dry. You definitely don't do these sort of things properly.
So that's what I've been up to basically. I got a wax, is the long story short, and it wasn't as awful as I was expecting it to be.
Well, good for you, Liam. I'm glad that you can feel more comfortable with your body.
But now I am wondering, do I go to the next level or not?
I think go for it.
We'll see. I think what I might do is I'll go back another 4 weeks and get this like topped up, see how that goes, and if
Maybe
I
just inch down a bit more each time. Like when she's like, take your top off, just like pull your jeans
to be
down
honest,
a little bit.
there
And
is
she'll be like, oh, what's this?
there is probably like another inch or so that she could have done, but I was wearing like not the most loose fitting of trousers.
Yeah, you should have worn like gym shorts.
Yeah, I know that now. So I reckon next time I go, I will try and get like this other inch done, because when I wear swimming trunks now, I've got this like Kat calls it a baby bum belly,
Okay.
and then like you've got where my swimming trunks would be, and then like just an inch of hair. So I'm gonna have to sort that out before I go.
Oh, very good.
What have you been up to?
I've done 2 things, Liam.
Okay, that's exciting.
The first thing I did was I had my birthday party. One of them. Not the barbecue, which you are invited to, as we discussed.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I bet you do it next weekend when I'm not around.
I'm not going to do it when you're away.
We'll see.
So, went round to a friend's house. I had a joint birthday party with someone else in our group who's like just turned 27 as well.
Yeah.
So we all went round to our mate's house, had a party. There was his blow-up jacuzzi in the back. Didn't get in it.
Why not?
I didn't want to.
But I thought you loved hot tubs and stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm in a weird place in my life, Liam, where hot tubs aren't exactly appealing to me.
So you're finally coming around to what I was saying all along.
Well, no, I'm not, Liam. I love hot tubs. Hot tubs are great. I just don't want to put my friends through the confusion.
I think they'd be all right with
It's
it.
already bad enough that I'm going on holiday in October, and I've had one of my friends like, they were like, oh yeah, we're going to go on holiday, and I was like, oh, is there a pool there? And they were like, yeah, and I was like, cool. I don't know what to do about that. And they were like, oh, what are you going to do about that? And I was like, cool, good. I'm glad we're all on the same page now.
Where are you going?
Portugal.
Okay, will it be quite warm in October there then?
I mean, we usually go on holiday sort of off season to these places, and it's usually warm enough that a pool is good.
Yeah, okay.
Probably the same as Croatia's going to be for you, I'd imagine. That sort of 20-ish, like not boiling hot, but hot.
But warm enough. Yeah. So have you like actually given thought to what you're going to do, or?
I'm going to wear a t-shirt in the pool.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And lower half like string thong bikini, I guess.
Makes sense.
Yep. Modesty on the top, party on the bottom.
If that's how you want to describe it.
But anyway, so had my birthday party. I've realised, Liam, now that I think I'm older than my years.
What do you mean?
Well, because I got there at 2, which is when the party started, 2 p.m.
Yeah.
I was like, let's get on it. It's my birthday. I'm going to get drunk. So I was drinking rum and coke for a lot of the night.
Yeah.
And then, I did the usual thing at that sort of party where everyone sort of, goes off into little groups that then, people move between the groups and all that stuff. But you're all sitting there chatting or doing whatever.
Yeah.
And I ended up sitting with two of my friends who don't drink.
Okay.
One of my friends who got there late and wasn't particularly getting... in fact, he wasn't drinking because he was driving home.
Yeah.
And I was just chatting with them.
Sounds like a square.
Well, no. But we were all hanging out, and then I just noticed that I wasn't drinking as much. And then it got to that point where I started to sober up, and there's that moment where you're like, I could either go and get another drink...
Yeah.
...and get drunk.
Yeah.
Or I could stop now with the intention of leaving sort of... Not soon, but... I could leave and not be off my tits and actually go to bed and have a normal night's sleep.
That is just... Who are you?
I went for option 2, Liam.
Really?
Yeah, I stopped drinking and just sort of chilled out. But this is the thing. I think there's an age where, especially when you're like 18 and you've just started drinking.
Yeah.
In air quotes, depending on, some people started drinking earlier than that.
Yeah.
there's like that age you go through where you're like, oh, the only, we go out to get drunk. And I think that then persists through uni. There's that sort of idea of going out to get drunk.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, a lot of the parties we went to and stuff at uni, we would go to pre-drinks.
Yes, we would, yeah.
So we could get drunker.
But I don't really... I mean, maybe I'm remembering wrong. I don't remember getting drunk a lot at uni.
You didn't.
No.
I did.
Okay, fair enough, yeah. So you
Like,
were
I used to
using
turn up to
weed
those
there,
pre-drinks
so
with a
I
bottle
got
of wine and
confused.
finish that before we went out.
Yes, that's right. I remember that, yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's that idea, and then you sort of get into that habit. So, like, there are people in my group who, when we go out to things like that, are like, yep, I'm getting drunk. And I'm not anti that. That's cool. I'm fine.
Yeah, you're not judging them.
No. But I've come to the realisation that, like, I can enjoy a party just as much if I'm hanging out and chatting with my friends.
Yeah, which is why I used to not get, like, off my tits drunk.
Yeah, which makes sense. You were older than us by 4 years, Liam.
Yeah, exactly. I was wise.
You were like the pupper of the group. Everyone looked up to you and always respected you. No, I'm sorry, I can't go on with that.
That's not even a little bit true, no.
No, it isn't.
They should have.
You're like the creepy uncle of the group.
Well, that's mean.
Sorry, Liam. No, but yeah, so I don't know. I just didn't get drunk at this party, and I still had an awesome time.
Good. I think that's growth.
Yeah. But I think I've been there for a while. I don't drink like I used to at all. In fact, I had to tell the doctor the other day how much I was drinking, and he was like, "So how often do you drink alcohol?" And I was like, "Once a week, I have one cider."
Yeah.
And then maybe once every 2 months, I go out and drink, and even then, I don't usually get like wasted drunk.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh right, so like barely anything." And I was like, "Yep."
Yeah, I mean, when I every now and again I have to do like this thing called like a health MOT at the gym where they just basically like track your progress. And one of the questions is like, how much alcohol do you drink? And my personal trainer was saying there's a real interesting shift in ages. Like people that she has who are in their like 40s, 50s, like our parents' generation, think that not drinking a lot is having like one glass of wine a night.
Yes, which is what like my mum does.
Yeah, but actually that is a lot and it does add up. Because she was like, how much do you drink? And I'm like, it's basically only drink when Ellie comes to visit.
Yeah.
And I might have like a Jack Daniels and Coke if me and Kat go to like the local Chinese or something.
Yeah.
But like, I think on average, I probably have like one drink every 2 weeks.
Yeah, which I think that's maybe the way that people should do it.
I still personally think alcohol should be banned.
Well, I'm going to let you take that stand by yourself because...
I don't. Well, okay, maybe not banned, but like better regulated, or at least like make. I think we've discussed this before, but like making weed legal, because drunk people are fucking dickheads, whereas like high people are mostly just like I've never seen two high people get into a fight over nothing.
No, I think I've seen high people fall out, but they usually forget they've done it and are then friends again. Yeah,
exactly. Like I don't know. I don't know how like alcohol culturally is just seen as okay with all of the...
I think it's just a habit from years. I mean, alcohol is one of the consistent things throughout human history. It's like the first person that had a bunch of apples fall into a thing of water, didn't notice them, then they went a bit off, and then eventually he was like, you know what, I'm going to sip this water. And then he was like, holy shit, that's really good.
Yeah, well, it's like the guy that discovered milk.
Yeah, well, that guy, I don't even want to consider what he was doing.
Well, there we go.
He was like, this cow looks like it's got more penises. They give me tasty milk.
Yum, yum. Put that in my tea. Oh, lovely. Anyway.
My dad just walked in to give me a drink because I was having that discussion with you. And I just stared at him and still said it.
I like the idea that he's just going to have questions for you later.
Yeah. What do you and Liam podcast about?
I mean, if Fleshlight want to sponsor us.
Do you think they have a product that...
I don't know. Maybe they should sponsor us and we could find out. And if they do, we could tell our listeners all about it.
Okay, fine. Anyway, so the second thing I did, Liam.
Yes.
I went for my second GIC appointment.
Okay, what is that?
Gender Identity Clinic. It's the one that, to get my hormones done through the NHS...
Yes.
You go to one. So you basically sign up for a GIC.
Yeah.
then it can take up to, it can take anywhere from 6 months to 2 years to get an appointment.
Okay.
Then
how long did it take you?
I think I was 6 months. I think because I went to
That's not bad.
one that had just expanded, so they had they were filling more people quickly.
Cool. Okay.
But then was it 6 months or was it a year? It might have been a year, actually.
Okay.
I think it was. But anyway, so you go to that first one, and then you finish that appointment, and then you have to have a follow-up appointment 6 months later. I don't know if that's right, or is it 6 months? I'm confused. No, it's 6 months, yeah. 6 months later, you get another appointment before they officially say, yep, okay, you can go on hormones.
So what sort of thing happens at these appointments?
They literally talk to you, and it's some of it's a little bit awkward, because they're talking to you, and basically they ask you questions to figure out, whether you are actually trans.
As opposed to what?
I don't know. Just confused. I don't know who's going to this, waiting the year and being like, here's how I feel. And they're like, you're just... Well, I don't know. I don't know how the you aren't transgender appointments go.
Yeah.
Because mine's pretty clear cut. The guy is like, so what do you identify as? Is it fully female? And I was like, yes, fully female. And he was like, okay. And then this time it's like they check back what you said in your first interview, and then he just sort of re-asks it just to clarify things.
Yeah.
Then they ask you about your sexuality, which I don't really get how that's relevant to being transgender.
No.
But
I don't think it is it?
I don't think it is, but it comes up anyway.
Okay.
So I was just like, yep, I'm bisexual. I'll fuck anything.
Yep.
And he was like, okay. Then they're like, oh, here's I have to tell you what all the negative effects of hormones can be. And I was like, well, I have been on hormones for 6 months now.
Yeah.
Because I was on them before I had my first appointment with you, so I've been on them. I know how it works.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, he just said, yep, cool. We're going to send off a letter to your GP, and you'll get a letter in the post, and then you can go sort it out with him, and you'll be on them. So, all good.
That's good.
I'm getting my pills, Liam, through the NHS.
So you were doing it privately, right?
Yeah, I get them privately.
Yeah.
The only difference, literally, the estrogen I take is the same as what the NHS will give me.
Yeah.
The only difference is the anti-testosterone stuff that I take at the moment isn't it's basically not medical grade. It's just a minor one.
Okay.
The one that the NHS will give me is an injection every 12 weeks.
Yeah.
And what it does is kind of interesting, because he basically showed me this little graph that he'd drawn where when you get your first injection of it, for 14 days afterwards, your testosterone actually spikes and reaches the top of the male range. It's the most testosterone a male body can produce.
Right, okay.
So they give you another pill while you're doing that so that your body just doesn't absorb any of it.
Yeah.
And then after those 14 days, it plummets to the female range, which is 0 to 3. And the male range is something like 10 to 30.
Yeah.
But it's basically this. I think what the drug does is it basically goes to your body, hey, produce as much of this shit as you can. And then your body does. And then eventually goes, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to stop.
Fair enough.
So we'll see, Hopefully their pills work. Otherwise, I could become the toughest lady in the world.
You could become a glow.
I'd like to be a glow. That would be awesome.
What would your glow name be?
I'd be the Cossack.
What?
I'd be the Cossack.
Why?
I don't know.
You're not Russian.
I could be Russian.
Okay. So, to summarise, you had a party and now you're getting pills.
Hell yeah.
Sounds productive.
Exactly.
And I just had a load of hair removed.
Yep, Liam got hair removal. I had a party. I'm on drugs. Sorted.
Brilliant. One thing that I have noticed, right, in the day since, is my t-shirt touching my nipples.
Yeah.
Because it used to kind of be the hair would kind of almost protect them from the t-shirt actually touching the nipple itself, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't anymore.
No, yeah, so you can feel your t-shirt on your nipples.
Yeah, and it feels really weird.
You'll get used to it.
Film reviews.
That's not what we call it.
What do we call it?
Liam and Ellie have both done things, and here are the spoiler-free reviews of the things that they have done in the past 2 weeks.
Yes.
Do we want to start with the one that we've both done?
Or do we want to end with it?
Alright, let's end with it.
Cool. Who's
Liam.
going first?
Liam.
Yes.
What films have you seen? Because yours is inevitably going to be films.
I saw a Netflix documentary.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So I think I've discussed it in the past. It's a documentary called Last Chance U.
Yeah, this is the NFL.
Well,
it's like, it's players that haven't made the cut because of circumstances.
Yeah, it's not quite NFL. It's college level football.
Okay.
It's players that are considered high risk. So they've either pretty much all of them are struggling with their grades, and they've usually coming from like low income backgrounds or something. They might have had like previous issues with drugs or the law or whatever. It's a college that they can go to that basically specialises in recruiting these sort of at-risk teenagers and trying to kind of give them something to focus on. Is it
literally their last chance?
If they want to have a career as a football player, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
The thing is, the first 2 seasons dealt with East Mississippi College.
Okay.
This one is a different college.
Oh.
Yeah, so season 3, I don't know why they've moved to a different college, but it's a different college and a different head coach.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so the head coach this time is this interesting guy who white dude who was born and raised in LA in, I want to say Compton, but it was like a predominantly African American neighborhood.
Okay.
So his whole shtick is that he kind of describes himself as being able to like blend between the races. Like he can talk on like these kids' levels. He reckons.
Yeah.
Which basically just means he swears a lot.
Got you, right. He sounds like that teacher from like any 90s sitcom who's trying to be cool with the kids.
Yeah. It was a real interesting season because the kind of like leader of the team should be the quarterback, right?
Yeah, traditionally it is.
Yeah, he's the one that should be setting examples and stuff. And the quarterback this time around is this guy called Malik Henry. And he's described throughout the show, and he is like an amazing quarterback. But he knows it. And he has like zero interest in being like a team player, really. He just wants to get out there, win, and just call it a day, and that's it. He doesn't really like playing football, is the problem.
Right.
But he's really talented at it.
I mean, so the issues with that are the quarterback. The reason the quarterback usually leads the team is because he does literally lead the team. Like the quarterback makes the calls. Like he gets told by the offensive coach, like, here's the play you're making. Yeah. But it's then his job to relay it to the team, make sure everyone's on the same page.
Yes.
You know, even make snap decisions when it turns out that play was like the wrong play. The quarterback's the one that then has to like adapt it.
Yeah.
So if he's not a team player,
exactly,
it sounds like he's a shit quarterback.
There's like, I think a scene in the first episode where he is arguing with the head coach over the play that the head coach is calling for.
Yeah.
He then basically goes back to the team, makes his own call, and scores a touchdown, and then gets really cocky about it.
Yeah.
And so the season is kind of like this weird conflict between the head coach and the quarterback, and none of the team seem to particularly like either of them, because the head coach, in being this like, oh, I can talk to anyone sort of thing, doesn't really command a lot of respect, because he will just yell at the team and swear at them, and it's not very professional.
Yeah. And
the team kind of like see through that. There's a game they were playing where the head coach and I think the like head defensive coach nearly came to blows on the pitch.
Jesus.
Yeah. So it was fascinating because it was this team that were doing well but never working cohesively as a team. They just had like these few individual players that were so extraordinarily talented that they could win games pretty much single-handedly.
Yeah.
Which you think, like, I just found it really interesting to watch. And it was the sort of thing where it's like, there was a couple of guys that I liked, but most of the people had something where it was just like, what are you doing?
Well, that's an interesting, like, because seeing as the premise of the show is, like, they're trying to fix these kids, right?
Yes.
Like, get them so that they can go on to have a professional career in this.
Yeah.
But, like, because I watch documentaries about, like, the NFL, where these kids are potentially going, and, like, the first thing that these people learn when they come out of college is, like, the shit you do in college means fuck all here. Like, you can be the best player, but if you fuck off the head coach, he'll drop your ass just because that's divisive to the team, and that's more important than having the best QB.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, it's kind of an interesting premise in that the stories you're telling where there are these amazing kids. Like, I'm like, that's all well and good, but it sounds like the moment they get to the professional level, they're just going to get dropped.
Yeah. The one good thing about this coach is he was really focused on getting the kids to graduate. He was like, I don't care how we do in games. You need to get the grades so you can graduate and go on to the next level. Because I don't really understand like the career path in America, but I believe you kind of like, obviously you have to go through high school. If you then are like, I want to be a football player, you have to like go to college on like a sports type deal. Yeah,
like a scholarship thing.
Yeah, but
I think, doesn't the college then like funds your education?
Yeah.
If you're one of the like good, I think you can still get on the college teams without the scholarship.
Yeah, I think so.
But if you're on the scholarship, that means the college has basically said, look, we're going to pay for your education.
Yeah, and colleges will do this to get good players because colleges obviously want to do well. And this is the thing that fascinates me about college football. In these like, so both the two different colleges that the seasons are focused on are both in these quite like small, like sleepy towns where. So in this season, it was a team that hadn't won in something like 30 years, and like they'd won the odd game here and there.
Yeah.
But they'd never won like anything significant in about 30 years.
Okay.
And it was about this new coach coming in, bringing all these players in, and also the town getting behind them.
Okay.
And I don't know. I'm really fascinated by this documentary. I've really enjoyed like the last two seasons. I wasn't too sure about this one going to a new place, and I still enjoyed it, but for very different reasons.
Yeah.
Mostly just seeing all these different conflicts and then still being amazed at how they win games.
Yeah. I mean, it does sound interesting. I will admit.
Yeah. So I gave it 3.5 out of 5.
Fair enough. That's cool. What did you give the other seasons? Do you remember?
I think they got about 4 out of 5.
Yeah. Okay. So not quite as good as the first two, but still good.
Yeah. Exactly.
Makes sense.
Then I did go to the cinema. So I saw The Festival. I'll do this one very quick.
Okay.
It's Joe Thomas, who is in The Inbetweeners, directed by Ian Morris, who also was one of the co-creators for The Inbetweeners.
Yes, I think I saw that and was like, oh, okay, so this is like going to be Inbetweeners-y.
Essentially, yeah. You also have Hannah Taunton in it, who... So the main character in The Festival, played by Joe Thomas, was in The Inbetweeners, and the girl that played his girlfriend in The Inbetweeners plays his girlfriend in this as well, and the actors are married in real life.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So
it's so Inbetweeners-y.
Yeah.
It's almost off-putting how Inbetweeners-y it is. You do have some like people that aren't in Inbetweeners. So you have Jermaine Clement in it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
From Flight of the Conchords.
Yep, I like Jermaine.
He's good. You also have Claudia O'Doherty, who I was last raving about her in the Netflix show Love.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so she's in this in a very similar role, but she's great at that sort of role. And the other guy who's really good in this is a guy whose name I'm probably going to butcher, but I think it's Hamid Animashorn.
Okay.
He's fantastic. The humour in this, I'd say, for me, leans a little bit too heavily into the gross out side of Inbetweeners humour. Okay,
that's fair. I can, yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. It's okay. I've never been to a festival before, so I don't know if it's the sort of thing where you watch it and you're like, oh, yeah, that's exactly what being at a festival's like.
From what I've seen in the trailers,
yeah,
it's not.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
But then I think that's the same thing that Inbetweeners and the Inbetweeners movies did, where it was like, Inbetweeners, that isn't what high school's like. Yeah. It's like
it's like exaggerated, isn't it?
All of the little things in it you could see happening.
Yeah.
But you'd never get all of them happening together, and you'd never have it as extreme as Inbetweeners does it.
Yeah.
And then the same with Inbetweeners 1, where they go on that lad's holiday.
Yeah.
And then the same with the second one, where they go to that
Australia.
Yeah, all those things are just blown to these crazy proportions. So I assume that the festival's going to do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. enough of the laughs landed that I wasn't like, oh, I hate it.
Yeah.
But equally, like, Joe Thomas, the character he plays, is quite unlikable for most of the movie. So it's quite hard to, like, get behind him.
Got you.
So, I don't know, 2.5 out of 5?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I wouldn't say, like, rush to go see it or anything.
I mean, that's probably the score I would have guessed.
Yeah.
That film would have got.
Yeah, exactly. And then I saw BlacKkKlansman.
This I'm interested in, because I've heard of the actual, like, the events it's based on.
Yes.
And it is such a fascinating thing.
Yeah, so for anyone that isn't aware, it's based on... Oh, I can't remember where. Hang on, where's it set? It's set in Colorado. It's about a guy called Ron Stallworth. I don't know how you say his name. I watched this movie like a week ago and I've already forgotten how you say his name. That's not a good sign.
Okay.
Let's say Ron Stallworth. So he's the first African-American police officer in Colorado. It's set in 1972, I want to say.
Okay.
It's set in the 70s. And he somehow manages to infiltrate the Ku Klux Klan via the phone, then realises, hang on, I obviously can't go and meet these guys in person, what with me being an African American. So he gets a Jewish co-officer. Is that what they're called? I don't know. Police officer.
Just a Jewish officer.
Yeah. In like the same sort of department to go undercover, and all based on a true story. Yeah. So you've got Adam Driver, who plays the Jewish police officer, Flip Zimmerman, and you've got John David Washington, who is Denzel Washington's son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't realise.
No.
Did not realise. Yeah, he plays Ron Stallworth, whatever it is. And then you've also got Topher Grace playing David Duke, the head of the Ku Klux Klan.
Okay. Is it good?
So it's directed by Spike Lee. And we went to see it with a Spike Lee Q&A afterwards.
Oh, yeah, I remember you saying in a chat.
Yeah. Have you seen anything of Spike Lee's before?
List what he's done. I know that he's fucking super famous.
Yeah.
What are his...
So the more famous... He's done Do the Right Thing, probably one of his more famous movies. Malcolm X. She's Gotta Have It. Those are like the big ones. He also directed the Old Boy remake.
I haven't seen that either.
No. Okay,
maybe I haven't seen any Spike Lee stuff.
I would recommend it, but he does do like... They're not necessarily political, but he kind of... I don't know, he tells African-American stories. It's sort of what he's known for, right?
Yeah.
I was watching this, and in the back of my mind, I was like, despite the fact that it's set in the 70s, it's just like devastating how relevant so much of this is.
Yeah, is it that kind of film where it's like, oh, look at us telling this story from the past. Wink, wink, look at this. All this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's great, and there's moments of humour in it, and like the cast are all like so good. The soundtrack's brilliant. Just like the way it's all put together is just superb. And I've got to be really careful what I say, so I can't do spoilers. But something happens at the end, and you know how something like in the back of my mind, I was just like, oh yeah, it's just disappointing. Something happens at the end, and it just hits so hard. The entire cinema was just like deathly quiet, and you're just left just kind of like pretty much shell-shocked.
Oh jeez.
Yeah. And it's just like it's such an impressive feat of movie making, I think. You know, It's sort of like in a very, very different way, but it's like Barefoot Gen, where it just leaves you thinking.
Yeah, got you.
And also somewhat despairing.
Yeah.
I don't really do like movie of the week, but if I did, this would be movie of the week.
For someone that doesn't do movie of the week, you bring up what film would be your movie of the week quite a lot.
Yeah, but I don't do it every week.
But at the moment, I think you have done for quite a while.
Yeah. I'd give it 4 out of 5. I kind of want to see it again, but equally, like, I don't know if I can.
Yeah.
It was so good though.
Cool.
I think you should go see it.
I was thinking about going to see it, and I wasn't sure what your review was going to be. Because at the start of this, I thought you were going to review it badly. Because I can't remember what you said right at the beginning of this, but I was like, oh, I don't know if Liam enjoyed it.
No, I really did enjoy it. To the point where I think, I could be mistaken, but I think it's currently my second favourite film of the year.
Oh, fair enough.
With only Infinity War topping it, and that was just like a very different form of enjoyment.
Yeah. Is that you done until we do our joint one?
Sorry, it's my third favourite. Mission Impossible Fallout came in second.
Oh, okay, cool. You were just checking.
Yeah. That just honestly, I really want you to go see it.
Okay, I'll try to, yeah.
Good, okay. Yeah, that's me done.
So, Liam, I have also done stuff.
Oh, what stuff have you done?
One thing that we're both going to do together in a minute. But before we talk about that, I played the game Detroit Become Human. Now, this game...
It's quite new, isn't it?
It's relatively new. It's been out a while.
Yeah, I saw it in Tesco's after you were banging on about it, and it was like still like 46 quid. So I was like, oh well, it can't have been out that long.
Fair enough. It might be, yeah. It's probably fairly new. Like, it's not an old game, but it
came out this year.
But yeah,
yeah.
It's honestly like, I don't know why I put off getting it for so long, because it was one of those games where I saw all the trailers and I was like, oh, this is definitely my kind of game.
Yeah.
And then I just didn't buy it. So then for my birthday, when, didn't have anything to choose, I was just like, oh, well, I'll put a game that I've not bought that I know I kind of want to play. Put this on my list. Literally, I think 4 days ago,
yeah,
I picked it up and was like, cool, I'm going to get into this game. I'm going to just play it and, see how it is.
Okay.
I played, I got home from work, put it on about, maybe let's say 8.
Yeah.
I didn't stop playing till 2 a.m. the first night.
Right.
Then the second day I got in, probably about 7:30, put on the game. Didn't stop playing till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And then Saturday morning I finished the game because I was on the last mission.
Okay.
Just to sort of show you how I feel about this game right at the beginning. I couldn't put it down.
Yeah.
The game is it's set in the year 2038.
Yeah.
And humanity have created androids, so robots that, help around the house. They're basically servants.
Yeah.
They do all the manual labour, like people who've lost their jobs to them. And you play as 3 different androids.
Okay.
And you follow, each of them have got a different... It's basically it's the moment that androids start to become intelligent.
Yeah.
And you're following 3 different stories, all from a different, perspective of what that means.
Yeah.
So I can't go too into it because it's spoilers.
Yeah.
But that's what you're doing. It's honestly the best story I've played in a video game ever.
Yeah, I saw you do a tweet saying that.
Yeah, honestly, I think in the tweet I said, I think I missed a word in the tweet. I was trying to read it this morning and was like, fuck,
You were too excited.
I was too excited.
Yeah.
But this game to me has proven beyond... I already thought that video games are obviously just as good a medium for telling stories as film and books and everything. Because I think every new medium has the same issue where the older generations look at it and go, well, you can't tell a story the same way as my thing, which is film. And then the generation before that were like, huh, films aren't as good as books.
Yeah.
So I think video games are in that point where there are people who are like, you cannot tell these amazing stories. And this game, to me, just completely destroys that. If you showed this game to those people and let them play it, I think they would just have their minds changed.
Yeah.
It's one of those games where you're choosing the outcome of the story, and in some of those games it can feel like your choices aren't having an impact.
Yeah, definitely, like the Telltale games.
Yeah, where and this game, there is definitely a place you're getting to, right? Like there is an end point where everyone is going to be in a similar situation.
Yeah.
But there are at least 3 final missions that I didn't play because of my story.
Okay.
Whole missions, and you can see the flowchart of what you chose.
Yeah.
And the places it branches, even in the first level, there are 5 outcomes to that level, and stuff that happens in those early levels will come back and change the story later on.
Yeah.
Because I met a certain character, and because I met him in the final mission, he was in a place near me, and that meant I could use him to help on a certain task. And just the fact that it did. And it changed the whole thing. And it didn't... There was a point where I was like, I wonder how much this is changing, because I don't know. And there was one of the specific last mission bits I did. To me, it felt like there was a point in the story where something happened, and I was like, oh, that's set up to get me into that level.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the flowchart and realised that I had actually fucked that bit up, and it meant that by making one mistake, I got sent into an entirely different mission, and it was all based on that one mistake I'd made.
Okay.
And I was like, that is mind-blowing. Like, it was something like, when you look at the stats, because you can also see, like, your stats compared to the world of what people chose.
Yeah.
And I think it was something like 18% of players. Oh, no, it was less than that. I think it was 8% of players made the mistake in the same place that I did that meant you got onto that mission.
Okay, yeah.
And that mission felt like it was so perfectly tied into the story that it was just blowing my mind, because I was like, it makes sense for my story that happened.
Yeah.
Like, there was only one place in the game where I save scummed, so literally turned off the game to get back.
Okay.
And it was because I messed something up, and it was because something hadn't been explained properly to me.
Right.
It might have been that I just missed them saying it, but it felt like such an obvious thing that I was like, it almost felt unfair that I'd fucked it up. And not unfair to me, like unfair to the story that was being told.
Yeah, okay.
Because I was like, that doesn't fit my character. This character that I'm playing at this moment, it doesn't feel like he'd have done that.
Yeah.
So that's the only time I save scum. There was a point where I chose a decision in like a conversation that wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll go back. And then I was like, no, wait. This makes so much sense for the character to have said this.
Yeah.
That I'm not going to fuck this up. And honestly, I recommend to everyone, go out and play this game. It's incredible. I don't know.
What's the actual, like, the gameplay? Yeah.
So it's...
So I'm guessing it's not like, say, Until Dawn, which is another, like, decision-based, sort of, like, your decisions affect the outcome of the game.
So the actual gameplay is kind of like Until Dawn.
Right, okay.
It's got a similar thing to it, like the whole, you're walking around in these levels, basically not getting to the next cutscene.
Yes, that sounds...
But like the cutscenes are done for the detail part of the story, like there's this specific thing happening and we can't tell it from you just being like, my character says, yes, I want to stay here.
Yeah.
Then you get the cutscene, and the cutscene will have quick time events in it.
Yeah.
It's one of the... I don't know why, because I'm usually anti-quick time events, but it worked so well in this.
Okay.
And there were moments where I was literally just clenching my controller, being like, oh fuck, I can't fuck this up.
Yeah.
And I think the best thing about it is if you fuck up a cutscene or a quick time event, it doesn't end your game. That's just like, yeah, cool. So that means that your character...
Yeah, there's going to be like maybe a negative consequence that you maybe didn't necessarily want. But...
It might make something later harder, or it might put you into a different route, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And like, I spoke to one of my friends who, according to our stats, because you can also look at your friend's stats, we did the whole start of our story was the same. And then I was talking to him and I was like, oh, you finished it. Can I like ask you something?
Yeah.
And I said something to him and he was like, no, that didn't happen for me at all. And it turned out we had branched at like that exact moment. And that meant we got these two completely different stories or endings to the story. And it's just amazing, dude. Like, the detail they must have gone into to get this game to work.
Yeah.
The fact that my story feels complete and it doesn't feel like anything was missed out is mind-blowing to me.
But I guess the other thing is, just like you specifically, could you play the game again?
See, so me specifically, I have a real issue. I think have I spoken about this before on the podcast where I finished the Mass Effect trilogy.
Yeah. I think you've reviewed that in the past.
Yeah, and I couldn't go back and play it because it felt like I was overwriting my story.
Yes.
And I really want to, because of these flowcharts, I really want to go back and see what could have been different.
Yeah.
Like, I was genuinely considering, I was like, what if I play the negative run? Like, the run where I make every opposite decision I could have. I fuck up all the cutscenes. Yeah. And I see, like, how bad this story could have gone.
Yeah.
But I can't bring myself to do it. There's a little part of me that goes, what if they make a sequel game?
Yeah.
And what if it has the feature that Mass Effect has, where it goes, we're going to read your previous story?
Yeah, but surely if you've got, like... Could you not just have a second save file or something?
I don't know if it lets you have a second save file.
Okay.
Because a lot of games don't nowadays. Like, I know some still have the old save mechanic, but a lot of games,
Could you not take your save file that you've got for this one and copy it to a USB or something?
I guess I could.
Yeah. And that way you've still got, like, your original run, so if they ever do that, you can just upload it back to your hard drive.
Yeah. Because I genuinely... That's the only... I don't even know if they're considering a second game.
Yeah.
But I'm so, like... I think my story was so perfect for me.
Yeah.
Like, every character got to a point where I was like, this is what I kind of wanted for that character.
Okay.
And some of it's bittersweet and some of it isn't, but it's just all like it's. I imagine I could go back and play a different one and be like, oh, that's even better.
Yeah,
or,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
But it just, I don't know. It would feel like I'd be cheating even though I finished the game. It's weird.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
The other interesting thing, I'll go over this quick, but there's on the main menu, you have an android who's like, who talks to you, the player.
Yeah.
And she like references what's happening in the game and talks to you. And as you're playing, she becomes more and more free, like the androids in the game.
Yeah.
And it's just really interesting watching. Like, I didn't realize, because I was playing in such big chunks.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it happening until like the second day where I turned something off, and I was like, wait a minute, the android looks sad. And then she talked about a decision I'd made and was like, she's like, I think that was the right thing to do, but I don't know because it costs so much. And I was like, oh no, this android's fucking getting involved and telling me these bad things.
That's a pretty neat little touch.
Yeah, I won't spoil that either, because there is a spoiler to the fucking main menu, which is amazing. Again, the fact they put that in. But yeah, it's so good. Honestly, I give this game 5 out of 5. And I honestly would say anyone that wants to play that likes story games at all, needs to play this.
Yeah, because I remember, I don't know if I said it to you, I know I definitely said it to other friends, but the year when I played and completed The Last of Us, I remember saying, like, that for me was my favourite story experience of the year, like better than any movie, book, comic book, TV show. Which kind of ties into that first point you're making about, you know, games
but,
sort of standing
games being
up.
able to do it.
Yeah.
I honestly, I really want you to play it, just because I know that obviously there's that part of you right now that's going, yeah, but it's androids and it's them getting intelligent, which is literally
the part of me right now is going, I bet the trophies are a fucking pain.
I got a lot of trophies. I did get one trophy that I don't know if I was meant to get.
Okay.
It very specifically referenced a character that I very specifically happened to get killed.
Right, okay.
And it was sort of like, oh yeah, you ended the game with this character. And I was like, no.
No, I didn't.
But then I'm not sure if it meant that I got them to a certain rating of like friendship with the characters they were with. And I was like, oh, maybe it means that.
Yeah, possibly.
But yeah, I don't know. But when you complete the game, it's one of those games where like you're getting achievements every sort of time you make a decision. Not every time you make a decision. Whenever you complete a level, like based on the outcome, you get an achievement. And then when you complete the game, you get about 10. And they're all like, you got to the end of the game with these 2 people and this other person, and these 2 people were friends, and these 3 people had fun. And you're like, okay, game, I get it. But it does let you go back and replay chapters, and then you can save the decisions you made then and move on to another chapter. So I think getting the achievements maybe wouldn't be too hard.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would require 2 run-throughs or 1 run-through and then like a chapter-by-chapter playthrough, which would end up being the whole thing, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, I still need to do that with Until Dawn. Like, I've completed it, I still need to go back and do all the little, like, fiddly achievements and chapter selects and that. I just haven't been bothered.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that. Should we now review the thing we both did?
Yes, I think we should.
Me and Liam have both seen Ant-Man and the Wasp.
To be fair, this is mostly going to be you.
Because you saw it ages ago and you can't remember.
Yeah, I saw it 24 days ago.
That's fine. I don't know if we don't need to go into like the details of it because it's spoiler free.
Yeah.
When you first watched it,
yeah,
we were chatting in our little like work chat thing.
Yeah.
And you said that you had, I got the impression that you maybe not didn't like it, but that you had issues with it.
No, not really. I thought it was okay. Yeah, I don't think I had any major issues with it.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I think that was just like the impression I'd got from like one message, and then we couldn't talk about it because me and Dan both hadn't seen it at the time.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, right? That most Marvel movies, I think, like we both kind of try and get to them quite quickly, but like this one, like so. Firstly, I remember I was annoyed because it got this like month-long delay when it was released in the UK because of the World Cup.
Yep.
And I did go and see it like opening weekend, but I think it's interesting that like then another month pretty much has gone by before you've got around to seeing it, and it just it feels like that's okay. Like it's not like Infinity War where you kind of had to see that like quite early on because it was just like so mammoth. This does like excuse
Infinity
the
War
pun,
was
this
so,
feels very small.
Yeah, Infinity War was very much a big picture Marvel movie. Like
yes,
this is tying up shit from all the films.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons that I didn't rush to see Ant-Man and the Wasp, was the whole, like, the whole it not dealing with Infinity War.
Well,
Because I was told, so the original stuff, they'd said it's set before Infinity War.
Yeah.
And that it wouldn't be particularly dealing with that.
Yeah.
So at first, I was like, well, that's a negative. I've just seen Infinity War. Why the fuck do I want to go watch this film that has nothing to do with what I've just, like, this big event?
Yeah.
I was wrong, because this film is good. There was a moment where I was like, it's kind of nice to have a break from that big story.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Because what did you think of the first Ant-Man?
I really liked the first Ant-Man.
Yeah, and again, it was. I think it came out. Was it just after Age of Ultron?
Yes, I think so.
So again, it was like this, almost like a bit of like a breath of fresh air. It was like, oh, you know me with like Marvel. I don't like them when they do like the origin story.
Yeah.
But I thought the first Ant-Man, it was fine. It falls into a couple of those like annoying tropes, like the villain is basically, you know, the hero's powers but used for bad. But Paul Rudd kind of like makes the whole journey go a lot smoother.
Yeah, Paul Rudd is so good in these films.
Yeah, and I think this was basically took all of the elements that worked well in the first one and just tweaked them slightly to make them just a little bit better.
See, I think as well, I don't even know if it's... It almost felt to me like it was Marvel breaking away from their traditional movie structures, because this film has baddies,
but doesn't have a proper like villain.
There's no the enemy in this film isn't like a person. It's like a story thing. Do you know? I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but do you know what I mean? Like there's an antagonist, but the antagonist isn't an enemy.
Yeah. Like there is like you've got.
I mean, there is a baddie, but there's like a few baddies, but none of them are like, oh, that's the main person that you're fighting.
And they kind of like the main villain, Ghost, is that the one?
Yeah.
Isn't really like the film does what I like when these sort of movies do, where you see things from their perspective and you're like, right,
she's a complicated villain.
Yes, exactly. I like that. Evangeline Lilly was good in the first one, but I just thought it was. I really want to see her in like a future like Avengers type movie, sort of, kind of alongside like Scarlett Johansson. You know that scene in Infinity War where all of the women like get together for a little fight moment?
Yeah.
In Wakanda? I want to see it like a scene like that with Evangeline Lilly in it as well, because I don't know, I thought she was great, and I'd like to see like almost like an all-female Avengers film. Yeah.
I really like as well that in this film, I can't remember if she was like it in the first one, but she feels like she's the better like fighter than Ant-Man.
That is the same in the first one, because she trains him how to do
that's true,
and stuff. Yeah.
Because like there, like the way she fights compared to him, like he does, you can see that he's doing things that she does.
Yeah.
But he doesn't like as like, you know, when he shrinks and like jumps into someone and then expands and does all that momentum shit.
Yeah.
Like her entire fights are just constant like shifting size.
Yeah.
And it's like, I love watching that fight style because it's so intrinsic to the person's ability.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, whereas like I love Iron Man, but Iron Man is often like punching people and then occasionally shooting a laser.
Yeah.
Whereas this is very much like, we can shrink, and in this world, when we shrink, we can keep our momentum and like basically fire people across the room.
Like smartly use that.
Yes, exactly.
And use the environment as well.
Yeah. I honestly, I thought this was a surprisingly good film, considering how I had for some reason reacted very negatively to the idea of it.
Yeah. So again, it's spoiler free, so we have to be very careful. But what do you think of the post-credit scene?
I liked post-credit scene 1.
Yeah.
I hung around for post-credit scene 2 and was like, I don't know why I always think post-credit scene 2 is going to be something big.
Yeah, it never is.
But I did like post-credit scene 2. It's just one of those things where I'm like, this feels very much like Marvel are like, we know we've sort of accidentally tricked you all into staying for the whole film. Yeah. So here's like a little funny thing so you don't hate us.
Yeah. But post-credit scene 1, I was just like, wow.
I think it's clever.
Yes, it is.
And yeah, I mean, it's interesting.
For me, it was probably my favourite scene of the whole film.
Oh, I don't know. I loved him. The scene where he was talking to his daughter.
Yeah, that's something that I actually said in my like Letterboxd review. Because you know how I normally don't really like kid actors in films and stuff.
Yep.
I thought in this one, they managed to like land on like the right side of sweet, and it wasn't like annoying.
Yeah, I mean, his kid is fucking adorable.
Yeah, exactly.
She's like the loveliest little girl. I love as well the like relationship between him and his like ex-wife.
Yeah, and also the stepdad.
Yeah, I love. Oh god, yeah.
So
there are some scenes there that I'm just like, this is so adorable.
Yeah,
And I think I think he's sort of his character's got to the point where he doesn't mind it anymore.
yeah, because I think it's such a like overdone trope of like the evil stepdad.
Yes.
And like so many of the like 90s family movies, like you think of like Liar Liar, for example. There's others, but I'm not thinking of them right now.
No, I just like that you get to see like a healthy family in a film.
Yeah. Oh, Mrs. Doubtfire, that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good point.
But yeah, I did enjoy it. But for me, it was like 3.5 out of 5. Like it was enjoyable, but it wasn't like amazing or anything.
See, yeah, I've been trying to figure out since I saw it earlier today whether I'm going to give it 3.5 or 4.
Yeah.
I think I'm swaying towards 4 because I had a good time.
Yeah, and I think sometimes that like element of surprise helps. Like if you're expecting it to like not be great, and then it's not even necessarily great, but it's better than you was expecting. That kind of...
I think I'll give it a 4. I think I'm going to give it a 4.
Sounds good.
Cool. Housekeeping?
Let's keep the house. Have you been doing any of the previous culture swappy stuff?
No, I got distracted with Detroit Become Human.
Okay, so I sort of have.
Okay.
Sort of.
You finished Attack on Titan.
No, not even a little bit. I've started playing, and you'll see why I'm putting this in housekeeping, despite the fact that I've started playing, Pokemon Ultra Sun.
Okay, yeah, because we culture swapped this.
We did Pokemon Moon.
Yeah.
So...
Well, that's fine. It's the same game, Liam. It's just shifted 6 hours and you catch like 5 different Pokemon.
Exactly. There are apparently like different story elements and stuff, but I haven't quite got to the point where I got to in Moon, and so far, majority seems pretty much the same. The only difference is something called totem stickers, where around the maps, like on walls and stuff, there'll be little shiny stickers that you can collect, and then you can trade them in for like a giant version of a Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
And matinee surfing.
Oh, fair enough.
Which is just surfing on the back of a Pokemon called a matinee.
I also own Ultra Sun.
Oh, really?
But I haven't probably started playing it yet. But I've done the same thing. I was like, you know what? I didn't finish Moon.
Yeah.
And I want to. So I guess I'll go Ultra, and then I should probably get Ultra Sun because I got Moon.
Yeah, so we did exactly the same thing.
Yep.
Brilliant.
I'll probably be taking it on holiday with me, and then see if I get a chance to play out there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of doing. I was taking that and probably a book.
American Psycho.
Nah.
You'll have so much fun.
Fiction books.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
We can talk about that when you actually have read one.
Yeah, exactly. So, we've got some correspondence.
Oh, yeah? Who's been in contact with us?
Amanda.
What did Amanda say?
She said that Ellie's Tales of Scotland are making her miss it so badly. She knows the exact William Wallace statue that you were talking about. Yeah. And that it is clearly a weird version of Mel Gibson from Braveheart. She has to agree with me that haggis is gross.
I mean, I get why people think it's gross because of what it is.
Yeah.
But it's very tasty.
Fair enough. She also said, oh my god, Liam, if I can make it to the Edinburgh Fringe from Ohio, you can make it there from England. For someone who enjoys live theatre, it's an experience worth having. And she also said, so I've chatted with Liam multiple times on Twitter and over Skype since I listened to the Barefoot Gen episode and didn't know he was livid until now. Once I watch the movie, though, I'll let you know what I think. Super excited that Ellie's on board for Howl's Moving Castle. Yeah, absolutely definitely. Seething that she listened to it without watching it, to be honest. I
mean, here's the thing, Amanda. It's hard to tell with Liam because he's always in this one tone, so you actually never know what emotion he's feeling.
That's kind of like the beauty of it, really.
He's always angry. He's like the Hulk.
Yes. I think that's about it, really.
Cool. Okay. No emails or anything?
No.
Cool.
Oh, Amanda did tweet to Kat about going to see Mission Impossible Fallout.
I don't think you should start reading out tweets that Amanda's sending to other people.
No, because we reviewed Mission Impossible Fallout in the last episode. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Oh, well, there we go.
There was a big conversation between like myself, Kat, and Amanda all about Mission Impossible films. It's not worth reading out in great detail. We've had no emails, we've had no YouTube comments, and as far as I'm aware, we've had no new reviews on iTunes.
Fair enough.
So, while I do want to think that we have the best listeners, they're not proving it.
You're such a moody shit.
But do you know what? Like, I've listened to other podcasts and stuff, right? And they were like, "Oh my god, our listener fan base is so good. We couldn't be here without you." And I feel like we're here despite them.
But that's sort of the premise of this show at this point, isn't it?
I think
like,
so.
I feel like at this point, sort of the universe is saying to us, "Hey, you two shouldn't be doing this," and we're just sort of like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, I did have a thought the other day, which is a bit morbid, right?
Yeah.
If one of us dies,
yeah,
do we have to do like a memorial episode and like kind of like close the show out?
Well, if I die, you have to watch all of Attack on Titan and then review it.
Okay, but what if I die?
I'll go watch like
all of
one
the
of the
Mumblecore
films that you bitched
all
on
of
about.
them. All of my Mumblecore
One of
films.
them.
All of them.
Actually, if I die, you have to watch Your Name on repeat for an entire day.
Ugh.
And then I'll watch, if you die, all the Mumblecore films.
Okay, fair enough.
I think technically I'm getting the worst deal because mine's longer than yours.
Yeah, probably. There's probably like, I don't know, I reckon I have at least 30 Mumblecore films.
Yeah, and I'm only making you watch Your Name for 24 hours, so...
Yeah.
In a row.
But yeah, so do we have to do like an episode that's like, so Ellie can't be here today. Now
I don't know if you have to do an episode, I think you can just tweet it.
Oh, no, I think you need like an episode.
You just want to milk my death.
No, but I'm thinking like, so, okay, what if in the future, like Twitter, which is currently being run by a moron anyway, disappears, goes under, right?
Yeah,
So,
then you can put out a short episode, like just 5 minutes of you being like, "Hey, listeners, I'm really sorry to let you know, Ellie's dead. I guess this is the end of Nerd on Nerd. Look for me on other projects."
I think we should do like a celebration episode. Like, so if I die, you're like, "Hey everyone, it's time for catching up with Ellie." Yep, there would be an Ellie in there, but not this time. He's dead.
Oh my god.
In honour of Liam, I've been to cinema a lot. Now here's some spoiler-free film reviews. Or because normally how I always have like more films to review than we have time to do in the show.
I go and do all the ones that you never got to do.
Exactly. That sounds perfect.
That's quite good.
Yeah. We'll obviously have an outstanding culture swap to discuss.
That's true, yeah.
So I think we have to do like...
Okay, well, if you die, I'll do that. If
Yeah.
I die, could you do...
Just a 5-minute thing.
No, I want you to do a video episode, and I want you to try and do a seance and see if you can get in contact with me.
Oh, that's a bit creepy.
No, I think it'll be good.
I don't.
I'll try really hard to let you know what I thought of the last culture swap.
I mean, if we do like a sci-fi thing, I can probably guess.
5
It's
out
got
of 5.
space and aliens in it. I loved it.
The robots learnt to love. 5 out of 5.
There we go. Good. I'm pleased we've covered that.
Yeah, good. Good job, Liam. This
Thanks.
isn't a deep episode. It's all happy.
Yep. We haven't discussed body issues, death, and now more death with culture swap.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Liam. What was that? Culture swap?
Time to swap some culture, I think.
Oh, no, it isn't. No, Liam. We're in housekeeping, Liam.
Yeah.
The last time, Liam, I kept track, you were on 1,093 films.
Okay.
You had had a big loss of 7. You'd got down. You were 2 away from your goal. So,
Yeah.
I mean, this could be the episode, Liam. The first time in quite a while that you got below 1,091 films.
Yeah.
So, Liam,
Yeah.
what is the new number?
I've been busy.
Sorry, do we need to specify to listeners? Because I don't really... Liam has a pile of unwatched DVDs. It is 1,093.
Yeah, we never do actually explain this bit, do we?
No, people just think it's a number. They're like, what does Liam have 1,093 of?
Problems.
This is all Liam's unwatched DVDs that he owns. That he
Yeah.
is trying to watch, theoretically.
Yeah, I've been a really busy boy.
Okay.
And not only
That can work both ways, because you might not have had time to buy stuff.
Exactly. That's what's happened. Because sometimes I'm a busy boy, but then I'm also like, I'm busy, but I bought like a Step Up box set, and now that's 5
Yeah.
more added to my total.
Yeah,
Finished that
exactly.
box set, by the way. Fucking delightful.
Okay, well that's... I think the last... I mean, that's at least 1 off of the total then, right?
Yeah.
Is it 2, Liam? That's the question.
So, what was it last time?
1,093.
When did we last record?
2 weeks ago?
Okay. The total now, 1,083.
Yeah. You've watched 10 films, Liam.
Yeah.
And did you buy any films?
I did. So I've watched in the last 2 weeks. I've watched about 10 films a week. So I must have bought like 10. Well, no, a bunch of those. About 5 of those would have been cinema trips.
Got you, yeah.
So yeah, I bought a couple of films, but I've been making a conscious effort lately. I really want to get this number down.
Liam, there is breaking news, Liam.
Okay. Yeah.
This is the lowest
Yeah.
your pile has been since we started recording this segment.
That's exciting, isn't it?
You were on 1085 twice. This is the first time you've got below that. You're on 1083. How does it feel, Liam? You're on track to winning the deal.
I have a problem.
How many DVDs did you buy that haven't arrived yet?
None, but so I like to how I've watched like a few directors, like their whole filmography, like Kevin Smith, Tarantino, M. Night Shyamalan. I've done all of Zac Efron's films. I was also doing Abbott and Costello. And last night I finally finished their last film. I started this on the 8th of August 2013.
Jesus.
And I've now watched all 36 Abbott and Costello films.
Okay.
And I'm kind of like, right, now that project is done, who am I going to do next?
Oh, God. No, just don't.
Because there's a few people. I'd love to do an actress.
Just don't.
I'd love to do an actress.
But just don't, Liam.
Either like Ellen
Just
Page,
watch this. You have a project,
or
Liam.
Kristen Stewart.
You have a project. You have
Scarlett
1,083 films that you haven't watched in a pile.
I've done 50% of Anna Kendrick's films. She's done 40 films total. I've done 20. I could just buy the next 20 and work through Anna Kendrick.
Well, listeners, this is the lowest Liam's ever got. It's not going to last from the sounds of it. So, culture swap.
Swap my culture.
Liam, what non-depressing film did you pick for us?
I picked one of my all-time favourite movies, a little film called My Girl. This is a very Liam film.
It is, yeah. It's coming of age.
It's coming of age. But
actually, though, to be fair...
I'm making a point.
Oh, sorry.
No, I mean, like, by picking this film, I'm making a point.
I thought you were in the middle of making a point, and I was like, oh.
No, sorry. I meant by picking this film, I'm making a point, because we've discussed several times one of my issues with coming-of-age movies that I've been having lately.
Go on, remind me.
I seem to struggle with female-led coming-of-age movies.
Oh, yeah, you're, like, sort of sexist.
Like, yeah, they just don't work. Like, Lady Bird didn't really work with me. Edge of 17.
It's not even sexism. You just have this weird problem where you take the idea of being represented in a film to its extreme, where you have this real issue where, like, if there isn't a character that's, like, white and male, your brain's just like, well, I don't like this movie anymore.
Yeah, sure. I just find it hard to connect to, like, especially in those two films, like, teenage, like, girls. Because I think both of the films, like, they get praised for providing, like, quite a well-rounded, like, character study. But part of it being well-rounded is it doesn't, like, shy away from some of the unlikable bits. And as soon as I'm, like, I hit that, like, oh, they've done something that's a bit unlikable, I really struggle to kind of get on board with them.
Okay.
I honestly, I can't fully explain it, but part of why I wanted to do My Girl is because it is a female-led coming-of-age movie that I fucking love.
Yeah.
So, is it sexism? I don't know.
No, I don't think it is actually sexism. I think you have I think it's like what I said. You have a real problem with,
like, relating,
connecting to some characters.
Yeah.
And then the fact that if you can't connect to a character, your brain does genuinely do a thing where it's like, I don't know if I like this film anymore.
Yeah. So, I've seen My Girl before. I knew what to expect. Were you, like, aware of it at all?
I think I've heard of it before.
Okay, so you knew it was, like, coming of age. Did you know anything else about it?
No.
Did you know that Macaulay Culkin was going to be in it?
Yeah, I think you did say to me last time, or possibly after we recorded.
Yeah. So, do you want to do, like, your sort of brief, like, a spoiler-free what you thought, and then we'll go into spoiler territory?
Do we do spoiler-free what I thought?
No, but I'm just curious.
Okay, fine. Why don't we just do the... Oh my god, you make everything so much more difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good film.
There we go. Right, spoilers coming now.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen My Girl...
and you want to...
Yeah, it came out in, like, 1991. But we are going to talk about some pretty major plot events that have the potential of spoiling this film for you, you know.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen it and you do want to go see it...
Yeah. Sort of like how we talked about some pretty major plot events in Barefoot Again, which probably spoiled it for
Oh my
anyone
god,
that-
Liam, get over it.
I can't.
You can't spoil World War II. If I say Hitler killed himself, that's not a spoiler.
It might be for Inglourious Bastards.
Fuck you.
Thank you. So, My Girl. I love it. I don't even know how to be, like, objective about this movie.
Okay, well, I mean, so
It's so good.
it's very good.
The other thing...
problem, Liam, that I had
Oh, here we go.
is that I was promised that we were going to have an episode where, like, we didn't deal with heavy subjects.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but we did 2 episodes. Barefoot Again, and
Yeah.
that one's about Hiroshima. And last episode I picked for my birthday, like a trans issue sort of web series.
Yeah,
so, you
yeah.
know, the episode we dealt with, you know, me and Liam sort of working through what that means. So then we sort of agreed, hey, let's pick something that's not that. We can just have a nice, you know, we'll have one of our usual culture swaps, back to basics. I fall out with Liam. We have a little argument.
Yeah.
Try and
Good
throw some
times.
humour in there. Wrap it all up. Sorted. So what Liam did was he picked a film where a young child is stung to death by bees because of his other friend, who is already struggling with death because her mother died in childbirth, giving birth to her.
Yeah.
Her dad works as a funeral home director, so she's surrounded by death and is terrified of it. She then has to deal with the death of her friend, while her dad, who doesn't really understand what's going on with her, tries to, but can't really. She's also dealing with him marrying a new woman who, you know, is a lovely person, but the girl herself is struggling to come to terms with the fact that her dad is kind of replacing her mother, who's been dead for years, and who the girl didn't even remember, which is kind of sad in of itself. So, you know, not the most easy watch I've ever had.
Did you cry?
Yeah,
How
like a
many
lot.
times?
A lot. I cried at the poem. I cried when the kid died. I cried when she was trying to deal with it. I cried when she ran into the funeral home and just, like, asked why they haven't let him wear his glasses because he's going to need them.
Yeah. That bit's brutal.
I think I even... Oh, no, I didn't cry, but I was sad when she went to deal with the teacher because I was like, that's kind of adorable that she's got a crush on her teacher, but it's also heartbreaking because she's learning that he has a girlfriend at the worst possible time for her.
Yeah. Do you know what? Like, one of the
I
bits
cried when she asked her dad if she killed her mum,
Yeah.
because that's a horrible scene.
Yeah.
I cried when the kid got stung by the bees because he went to find the mood ring. I cried when his mum gave her the mood ring back.
Oh, yeah, that bit. And when the mum's just like, you don't come to visit us anymore.
No, she doesn't say that. That's not right.
What does she say? Oh, she says, can you come and visit us?
She says, even though he's dead, I hope you'll come to visit us.
That's it, yeah.
And Vader says, of course I will.
Yeah. Which, you know, you can infer that Vader isn't coming to visit them so much anymore.
It's not what she said. Anyway.
Yeah. Do you know what I thought one of the most, like, beautiful moments was?
Go on.
When she's talking about marrying the teacher, and then she's cycling back. So we should probably chuck some character names in here, so I don't have to keep being like she and he. So the main
so it's
character
Vader and
is
Thomas
Vader.
J.
Huh?
She's Vader.
Yep, she's Vader.
He's Thomas J.
Thomas J. They're cycling back, and she's just spoken about how she's going to marry the teacher and stuff. And then Thomas J is just like, would you consider me? And she's like, for what? He's like, well, if it doesn't work out with the teacher, would you consider marrying me? And she just sort of like, yeah, I guess. And it's just like,
she says it in such a way that is like, I think at that point she has not fallen in love with him because they're kids.
Yeah.
But she's definitely like, I think there's 2 different crushes she has in that film. There's like the childish crush for her teacher.
Yeah.
And then there's the actual crush for Thomas J.
Yeah, because that's after they've had their first kiss, isn't it?
Yeah, it's specifically them riding back from the first kiss.
Yeah.
Because she's like, don't say this to anyone, and he's like, no, you don't say it to anyone.
Yeah, that's another, like, that's a very sort of famous movie moment, that kiss, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I remember seeing it. I don't know, it seems to be just sort of like imprinted in my brain, but probably because I've watched this film when I was very young. And I've watched it quite consistently growing up.
Yeah.
It's just such a sweet, sweet movie. It really is.
It is very sweet. It just has a very sad ending.
There's
like, not the end.
Yeah, but like...
The third act of the film is very sad.
But see, I think another thing that I just love is period setting coming of age movies. Like, so this is set, like, came out in 1981, but set in 1972. Like, Stand By Me is another one that I think came out in like the 80s, but was set in like the 50s. So I like these coming of age movies where they're kind of set a couple of decades before they're released.
Yeah.
So Anna Chlumsky, who played Vader, this was her first ever acting role.
Oh, okay. She's good in it.
Amazing, right?
Yeah.
Like, again, like as we said earlier, I have issues with sort of kids in films, but she is just not remotely annoying in this.
Yeah. See, I don't think it isn't that you've got an issue with kids in films. I think it's that you've got an issue with certain types of like child characters in films.
Yeah, probably.
Again, Stand By Me, you don't have an issue with, and they're all kids. I think if the film is led by a child and is a coming of age rather than a kids movie,
yeah,
I think you're way less likely to. I think you're probably annoyed by the characters that like some writer somewhere was just like, I think this is how kids act.
Yeah, like the perfect example is the little girl in Hook.
I've not seen Hook for years.
Oh, she has a bloody song as well, and it just it's the worst. So when I say I have a problem with kids in film, I think of that as a prime example.
Yeah.
But yeah, this I don't know how to talk about it because I love it so much.
I mean, okay, so what specifically do you like about it, Liam? What's the like reason that this is one of your favourite films?
It's just such a sweet story.
Yeah, it is.
And like it deals with, like you said, like quite heavy, like mostly this idea of like death and coming to terms with death, but also like first love, and I think it is quite similar to Stand By Me in that like you've got that it's set in like a school summer. Yeah. And I don't know, I love the coming of age films where you have these like typically American sort of, you know, summers that just seem to stretch on forever. Well, it's because they fucking do. Don't they have like a ridiculously long summer break? I have no idea. I think they do. I think we get 6 weeks and they get something ridiculous. Well, I don't know. Macaulay Culkin is great in this. Yeah, he's good. I thought he was
I don't
great.
think he's at the pinnacle of his acting, but
what would you say was the pinnacle of his acting?
Home Alone. Okay.
So that came out a year before
I don't know
this.
if Macaulay Culkin has ever been like an amazing actor.
Have you seen The Pagemaster?
No, I haven't. To be fair.
Oh, well, there we go then.
Is he very good in that?
So good.
Okay. I think she far outclasses his acting ability in this film.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely.
But she is like one of the best child actors I've ever seen.
Yeah, so good. And I liked the like hypochondria stuff. Yeah. Because it very much is her. Like, it shows how aware she is of what's going on in her home, with it being like a funeral parlour, but how incapable she is of properly processing that. Yeah, I mean, it's just meant to be like her fear of death, right? But represented in an actual thing that she can go and try and deal. Like, she knows that a doctor can cure medical stuff. Yeah. So she's almost trying to deal with death by getting a professional to do it, but he can't because she's not actually ill. Yeah, exactly. And then she has that whole scene at the end, because there's the running thing of like, right at the beginning, she narrates that she got a chicken bone stuck in her throat when she was a kid. Yeah. And has never got it out. And then right at the end, she's like, that chicken bone finally went. And I was like, oh, the chicken bone represents your fear of death. Exactly. Yeah. It's not subtle sometimes. It's not, but it's fine. Oh, no, it is. Yeah, no, that's not a negative against the film. It's so Dan Aykroyd, who probably more familiar to people as one of the Ghostbusters. Yeah. He plays the dad, who is obviously like struggling, I think, sort of being like a single parent to a little girl. Yeah, I don't think he knows how to deal with his own daughter. Yeah. And I just think their relationship is it's nicely done in a way where it's almost quite subtle. Yeah. Like they show that he's struggling, but they don't like beat you over the face with it. Yeah. I think that's fair. There's an obvious divide between them. Yeah. But they don't constantly try and reinforce it. Yeah, it's just always there. And then, so you got Jamie Lee Curtis enters the picture, who people might be more familiar with her as the leading lady in Halloween. Yep. She plays this like hippie. Well, no, she's not a hippie. She's sort of hippie-ish. No, she isn't. What is she? I don't think you know what a hippie is. She lives in a camper van. She does, yeah, but she's like a professional makeup artist. She's a bit free. That's not what hippies do, Liam. Hippies aren't like, hey man, they'd save all the trees and also use expensive products that are used on animals for testing. That's true.
She's not a hippie. She's just she's free spirited.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So she comes along and gets a job working there, and kind of develops feelings for Vader's dad.
Yeah, I liked the fact that their relationship between her and Vader was like strong at the beginning.
Yeah.
But then when she actually starts dating the dad, Vader can't deal with it.
Yeah.
So then becomes a little bitch.
Yeah.
She's like really mean to her.
She really is. Oh,
Is the bumper car scene where she's like bumping her, just specifically going for her every time, and you just watch as she slowly realizes more and more that Vader is just hunting her down.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I really liked as well the sort of how they dealt with like Vader becoming a woman, shall we say?
Going through puberty.
Yeah.
You can say getting a period, Liam.
Getting a period.
Yeah, that is a very when she says she's like, I'm hemorrhaging.
Yeah. And when like Thomas J comes to play, and she's like, don't come back for 5 to 7 days.
And just shoves him.
Yeah.
And he's like, what?
Yeah.
That is good.
There's just so much that I just love.
Yeah, no, it's a really good film.
Yeah. I like as well, like after their first kiss, when she's like, it's too quiet and they don't know what to say, so they just start like pledging allegiance.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's just so believable.
Yeah, it is a believable kid crush.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Thomas J dies.
Yeah, which is sad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, and I think the other thing we need to talk about is the writing class that she joins.
Oh, yeah. Vader joins her teacher at school over the summer. The one that she's got a crush on. To make money over the summer is doing an adults creative writing class.
Yeah.
So Vader steals money from... what's her name?
Shelley. Yeah.
She steals money from Shelley to pay for it.
Yeah.
And then turns up at this class that is just full of adults. The first poem that she hears read there is about sex.
Yeah.
And then Vader reads a poem about ice cream.
Yeah.
But I like as well. I liked that teacher because like the character is like, even though I know that Vader shouldn't be here, whatever. He's like, I'm gonna teach her still, and not like treat her differently than anyone else.
Yeah.
Because he's like, you're not telling me what's inside you. You're just telling me a story.
Yeah, and I liked another bit that I'm surprised didn't make you cry is when she comes back to the writing class and they all like hug her and stuff, and like they make her feel really welcome.
Yeah, sorry, that the bit where she reads her poem at the end. Yeah, the bit I said I cried at.
Well, yeah, but there's the reading part,
I
and
cried
there's
at
her
that
just
bit,
walking into the class as well.
That's all one scene.
I don't know. The other bit that I think is great is they're trying this like thing in the class. They're doing like this class meditation type thing.
Oh yeah.
And one of the guys is like, feel my aura. She says, I don't think I'm allowed to. It's just got like really nice little like funny moments like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's the sort of movie that it just makes you feel kind of like warm inside. Like there's like, even though it's dealing with all this sad stuff, like there's little character moments, like when Vader's dad stands up to Shelley's ex-husband.
Oh yeah, that bit is so good.
Yeah, and it's just like these little kind of like you can't help but just root for all of the characters.
Oh yeah, no, I'm on board. Like again, I really like this film. It's a good film.
Yeah.
It's just also sad, and you told me we weren't doing a sad film.
Well, I had to get you to watch it somehow, didn't I?
Well, yeah, but you could have just waited a week.
Well, we were struggling to come up with something.
Yeah.
To be fair, I did suggest Perks of Being a Wallflower as well, and I went, oh, maybe
You said
not.
that was worse in terms of sadness.
Yeah.
And heavy issues.
Yeah. So,
Listeners, we do need some recommendations. Can you send us some stuff that isn't sad? Well, trust us. We've run out of all the happy shit. We're doing sad stuff now, so can you just give us some happy suggestions that we can fit in?
That would actually be quite nice. Like, if we kind of give listeners direction on what we want them to suggest us.
Yeah. We'll cover the sad shit. I mean, for me at the moment, it's pretty much everything.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to lie. I cried a little bit in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
At what bit?
Right at the beginning.
I don't remember what happens at the beginning.
I can't say without it being a spoiler, but right at the beginning.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. I'll tell you later. It's fine. You don't need to know for that anecdote.
Yeah.
The point of it was I was emotional at the start of Ant-Man and the Wasp, so everything's making me cry, Liam. I'll walk you through the joke. So the joke was that I'm very sad at all these films, right?
Yeah.
So then to emphasise that point, I picked a film, Ant-Man and the Wasp, a film that isn't particularly sad.
Yeah.
And then I said to the listeners, I cried at the beginning, which is true. I did cry at the beginning. just as a sort of emphasis.
Yeah.
To emphasise that point. You then don't need to go and
I sometimes get confused when you talk to the listeners and when you talk to me.
Well, it was also an anecdote for you, but again, you don't have to know which bit for that to work.
But I'm very inquisitive.
Okay, well, let's just move on.
What age do you think is the right age to show this film to someone?
I'd say, like, that age and up.
So, like, 11 onwards?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that is the age where people are, kids are starting to get to the point where that shit becomes relevant.
Yeah. Are there, like, what sort of, beyond, like, the obvious, like, kid films, like, these sort of family-friendly type of movies, do you, like, another one that I remember watching as a kid growing up was 3 Men and a Baby?
I don't think I ever saw that.
It was probably a bit before your time, to be honest. But what films do you kind of remember watching growing up that this sort of, like, tone?
I don't know if I watched films of this kind of tone.
Okay.
I was more into,
my mum used to make me watch these sort of things with her.
Yeah, see, I used to watch films with my dad.
Yeah.
And we were much more into, watching the entire James Bond franchise.
Yeah.
Films like Red Planet, Ghosts of Mars.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. We just did any film that he saw in the blockbusters that looked good.
Yeah.
Actually, no, not in blockbusters. What did he have? Was it Apollo Films or something?
I don't know. We had like an independent local sort of video.
Yeah, I think Apollo was maybe not independent, but not blockbusters. It was, a small one.
I used to love going there as a kid. I really did. I remember like renting stuff like Dunstan Checks In.
See, I don't know if I ever went down. I think there was a couple of times, like if I was having a sleepover.
Yeah.
I could go down to. We had a Blockbusters near us that I could go down to and rent a film.
I don't know if I've told this story before.
What was that?
I don't know if I've told this story before, but this video shop. Once I was 14, and I had a girl over. I was trying to impress her, and obviously, like my family, like practically weekly, I think, went and got like a video on the weekend or something, and I'd go and get myself one. So I was trying to impress this girl, and I took it. I was like, "Oh yeah, the guy knows me. He'll let me rent a 15." Which, when you're 14, is like a big deal. And I remember, I wanted to rent Pitch Black.
Good film.
Really good film. But he refused, so I had to go all the way back home. Now, bear in mind, this was like when I was 14, so I had to walk, like 20-minute walk, and then get my mum to go and rent it for us. And then I remember my mum, like, proper, like, fucking fucked me right over, because the guy was like, he's not 15, is he? And she was like, nah. I was like, you're meant to have my back.
I just love how much that backfired on you. You boasting to some girl that you could get a 15, and the guy just being like, no.
Yeah, no, he would not let me have it.
Had you rented 15s from there before?
Nah.
No, so why did you lie?
I was trying to impress this girl. Like that time I tried to impress a girl and got kicked by a horse. I should never try and impress girls.
No, yes. Luckily you've got Kat now, and there's no way you can impress her.
Oh god, no. That's.
I mean, you probably could. You could like dry yourself without calling for her, and she'd probably be like, "Oh, that's impressive."
So what, if I keep up this waxing, it might be a lot easier.
Yeah.
Anyway, Baby's Big Day Out.
Look Who's Talking. I've seen that.
Yeah, there's loads of these, like, I think, especially in, like, the early 90s, loads of these, like, before you were born.
I was born in, what? I'm
you were like,
4 years younger than you.
You were born in, what, 91 were you born?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw the 90s, mate. I was there.
Well, whatever. There was loads of these sort of movies that I remember renting and just, like, loving. I think My Girl's one of the few that would actually stand up, though. I think things like Dunstan Checks In, which is about, if I remember rightly...
Is he the monkey?
Yeah, he's the monkey, and it's a little girl that I think lives in, like, a hotel.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think they would stand up. This film isn't a kid's... Like, it's a film that a kid could watch. Yeah, but I think it easily works for any age, really.
Yeah.
Like, it's not made for kids.
No.
Yeah, I'm glad you recommended it, because I'm glad I've seen it, because it's a good film.
Good. I'm pleased. But yeah, so do we need to talk about death?
Do we?
I don't know.
What do you want to talk about? Well, you're scared of death.
Terrified.
So you're a bit like Vader.
Yeah, it baffles me how people aren't scared of it.
I'm not.
Like, I get there's this argument, like, oh, well, it's inevitable, so what's the point of being scared? But just because something's inevitable doesn't mean it's not scary. It's
not even that. It's just that it's a natural part of life, and when I die, my body will get absorbed by nature, and I'll go back into the cycle of life. Not me, but the parts that made up me will. My brain functions will have stopped, and I will be dead.
So I genuinely think people that aren't scared of it, like yourself, just don't think about it enough.
I do think about it.
But like, how deeply?
Pretty deeply, Liam.
Like, but how do you wrap your head around just the thought of you no longer...
Everything stopping. Yeah.
Well, not everything stopping. That's the thing. It's everything carrying on, but you stopping.
No. But I mean, everything stopping for you.
Yeah, but that's not the bit that's to me is the worst, I think.
What?
Like,
what bit? Wait, you're scared of what happens? You're scared of what happens to everything else after you die?
Yeah, because everything else will just continue like normal, which
Yeah.
just means that everything that you are and that you've done is just so pointless. I mean, unless you're like actually doing something worthwhile with your life.
No, not even that. Liam, when you die, right?
Yeah.
You will live on in terms of like memories and shit through Kat, me, your other friends, people like
What
Dan.
if you're all dead first?
I'm not dying before you, mate.
We don't know that.
No, I'm gonna murder you if I feel like I'm dying.
Oh, okay then.
You're coming with me.
I don't like the sound of that.
No, but even then, like, if one of your friends had kids, they would probably remember you.
I stopped being friends with them.
Even things like all the minor shit that you've done, right? The place you work at,
Yeah.
right? There are things you've done there that will have an impact in whatever way. Everything you've done has impacted. It's more stupid and not a deep thought to think that you aren't impacting everything.
Yeah, but it's okay impacting it if you can like be around. But I don't know.
No, but that's not the way you should be looking at it, because that's a stupid way of looking at it.
Look, I don't like it. Right, I don't like the thought of.
Yeah, well, how dare you try and tell me that I'm not thinking deep enough? You're thinking so shallowly. You're literally thinking, well, if I can't experience this stuff, how is it fair? Why should I? Like, what's the point? That's just pathetic and shallow.
No, it's honestly, it's so terrifying. The thought of like,
it's not.
It is the thought of literally just you not even realizing that it's all done. Like,
I mean, I'm probably going to realize it's all done because I've got a feeling that I'll be on a deathbed and be like, oh God, I'm about to go into nothingness.
Why do you think that?
What? If I'm dying? What?
Yeah.
I'm so confused. What are you going to be thinking when you die?
I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to die. It could be a car crash.
Yeah, but even then, you will have like, unless you're shot through the head,
could be
from behind.
Could be.
Then there's going to be a moment where you're
what
like,
if you die
dying.
in your
Even
sleep?
then, there's supposedly like these, like, you know, you get a moment of a flash where you're like, oh fuck, this is it, as things shut down.
What if you die in your sleep?
That's fine. It's even better.
I don't know. Just it's something about it that I just can't wrap my head around.
I get why you're afraid of it. I just wish when you spoke about it, you didn't try and make the people who aren't afraid like me sound like idiots.
But it's because to me you are.
Yeah, but that's fine. I don't think you're an idiot for being scared of death. I think it's silly to be scared of it, but I don't think you're an idiot.
I think our listeners should weigh in. Are you scared of death?
I think it's probably going to be about 50-50.
Probably.
Would be my guess.
Do you think, like, when you get older, do you think you'll find religion or something? Because it seems like a lot of people do when they get older.
No.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that. I was talking to Kat about this the other day, actually, and I was saying, like, imagine, right? Just imagine if there is a God, okay, and you die and you go and meet him. Like, how does that conversation go? Where you're like, so, childhood cancer, what was going through your mind when you came up with that? Like, how does a God justify some of the shit that goes on?
Well, I mean, if you're getting into this, right, the actual thing is that even by most religion standards, unless you're like a hardcore religious person, you don't believe that. Like, I think a lot of religious people don't think that God is planning every single step.
But I think why not? Is he not just like stepping in?
I think most religious people would say that God made the world.
Yeah.
He put life on it.
Yeah.
And now life is running its course, and God has tried to give them like these instructions they can follow to be good people. I don't think he specifically has gone, cool, a bunch of you are going to die from these horrible things. I think that's just the way the world works. That's the rules that were made.
I don't know. I think it's because like when
also don't have that conversation with God. That's such a boring thing to do. I'm going to get up there, and if God's real, I'm going to go, hey, douchebag, am I getting into heaven? And if he goes, no, I'll go, what, just because I didn't believe in you? And then he'll go, no, it's because of all the weird porn stuff you did. And I'll go, oh, you actually were watching? Pretty wild, isn't it? And he'll be like, yeah, man, you've seen some crazy shit. And I'll be like, yeah, I'm going to hell, but it's cool.
Okay.
Is that where you keep the hentai tentacle beasts? And he'll be like, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
There'd just be like a button that he pushes, and it's just like a trap door opens up below you.
And then tentacles appear. And he's like, God, you're enjoying this too much. I fucked up.
Yeah. But I think the reason why I get confused is like when bad things happen and people are like, oh well, this is just God like testing us.
It's because it's a way for people to deal with it.
But it's such a shit way, isn't it?
Not if you are religious. I can see the appeal.
I don't know. I see the appeal of believing in God when you're nearly dead and you're like, shit, I want there to be an afterlife.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Liam, if you do that, that doesn't work.
Well, we don't know that.
No, I mean that doesn't. That's according to religion. That doesn't work. If you just confess right at the end, then God's going to go no.
That's my plan.
Sorry to burst your bubble. If that was your plan.
Yeah, damn it. I don't know. I can't remember why me and Kat were talking about this, but we talk about a lot of shit.
Why are we talking about death?
Because this movie deals with it a lot.
What did you give this movie out of 5?
When was the first time in your life you encountered death?
I don't know.
Okay.
My next door neighbour died.
What age were you?
Very young.
Okay, specific.
I don't know.
Okay.
I was very young. She used to give me biscuits across the fence with my parents' permission.
Oh, that's nice. What biscuits were
she
they?
was lovely. Nana Lil.
What biscuits were they?
Pink wafers were my favourite.
They were good
I think
ones.
she used to have a selection, but she always had pink wafers, and they're the best ones.
Yeah, they are pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see. I sort of like, not to the extreme of Vader, but was like brought up aware of death because like my granddad, my mum's dad died when she was 14.
Yeah.
So I was always kind of like, to some extent, aware. But I think like the first time I was really impacted by it was probably like when my nan died because she used to live with us.
Yeah.
And I was like 18, 19, and I'm the one that found her, which was a bit... Yeah, that was difficult.
Yeah, I can imagine, man.
Yeah.
It's not nice.
No. But that was like the first time where it was like someone that really impacted me. Before that, when I was at school, someone I was friends with in secondary school, their mum was already dead, and then we were like all 14 and his dad died as well.
Oh, that's also not nice.
No, and we like went to the funeral to like support him, and he was just like either handling it really well or not well at all, and I'm inclined to believe the latter.
Horrendous shock.
Yeah, like because he was like carrying the coffin in with his like older brother and some other like family members, saw us all like standing there, and just like waved at us.
Yeah,
and it was like that's not appropriate, is it?
I mean, I had well, not a friend. There was a girl in my school that, in between us all moving up from year 6 to year 7, died of an asthma attack.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we all found out when we went back to school. Because a lot of my school went to the same high school, so like there was this sort of network of kids that went to my primary school, and one of them just sort of one day after school, or on the way out of school, was like, hey, I don't know if you guys heard, but she died.
That's pretty sad.
Yeah, that was.
It was something that this film made me think about was like the teachers, like I can't imagine what it must be like for a teacher kind of seeing like a child like 5 days a week and then that child no longer being around and kind of just like that must be hard.
Yeah, I thought the scene in this where he's talking to Vader after that is a really sweet scene where he's like on his way to the funeral, but then he's like clearly Vader needs someone to talk to her. Yeah I thought that was really sweet.
It's such a good film. What would you give it out of 5?
Probably a 4.
Okay.
You?
5 out of 5.
I thought so.
Yeah, I have a lot of nostalgia for it as well. So, like I said, I can't be objective about this movie.
No, that's fair.
It's the sort of movie that I've just grown up with. So.
Yeah, I mean, this is very like if we were to buy into the bullshit. These are Liam's films. These are Ellie's films. Yeah. This is very much a Liam film.
Yes, definitely.
I just happen to also like it.
Yeah. Because there is some crossover. Yeah. Like if it's a Venn diagram.
I mean, there's more crossover on my part where I'm like, I like quite a lot of films. It's just Mumblecore that I've not, and even then, I've seen 2 Mumblecore films and liked one of them. So
which
I'm
one
50-50 on Mumblecore. Your sister.
Yeah, that's barely Mumblecore though. Isn't
it? Yeah. But anyway, whereas your side is very much like, here's a list of things that Ellie has liked that Liam has hated.
There's some stuff that you like that I like.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I like more of your stuff than you like of my stuff.
Yeah, but I think it's because, and you're going to disagree with this, so listeners, you can probably skip ahead a couple of minutes. It's because I'm
so tempted to hang up on you just to annoy you.
I pick things more carefully.
Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, that's what it is.
So you'll be like, oh, well, I like
because that's what I was talking about, Liam. I was saying the things I picked.
Yeah, exactly.
No, see, what I was actually saying, Liam, was there are more things that are from your... Like, things like Nameless, which we both picked. to be
Oh,
honest.
that was your pick. That was not a
Neither of us had read it before.
I thought you had. Because
No.
you sent me a screenshot from it.
Oh, maybe I did.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was your pick. My point still stands. What are we doing next time?
I don't think it does. Wait.
What are we doing
You
next
didn't
time?
pick My Girl carefully because you thought I'd like it. You just picked one of your favourite films.
That I thought you'd like.
I don't know. I think you could have. I think you have played that card enough that
No, like, I thought you'd
there
like
is
Stand
no
By Me.
way you are 2 years into this podcast and you are still picking things that you're like. Or is it, Liam? I mean, or it could be that you are picking stuff that I like and you just know that I like a lot of shit. Because I do.
Yeah, but like, I could.
I was thinking about this. If people tallied up our ratings on this show, just
Yeah.
in total,
Yeah.
I think I have given out a lot more 4 out of 5s than anything else.
Yeah, I think so.
Because there are a lot of things that I'm like, this is a good thing that I like.
Well,
Whereas
You
you're
have-
more likely to not like. I'm not saying it is a bad thing. You're just more critical of stuff.
yeah, you have a simpler mind that's easier to please.
Yeah, sure. Right. What are we doing next time, Liam?
So, long-time listeners might remember we did a comic called Sunstone, a graphic novel.
Yeah, which we both loved.
Yes, that was a my pick,
Oh my god, it's not a fucking contest.
but if it was.
This is a my pick.
Yeah,
I'm claiming it. You sent me the picture. I said we should do it. So this is a
true.
my pick.
let's hope it's good then, eh?
I hope so. If it's really shit, I'm going to be really annoyed.
Yeah, so a graphic novel came out that I saw in my local comic book shop recently called Swing. And I saw the cover and was like, fuck, that's a very similar cover to
Yes.
Sunstone. And picked it up, looked at the back. It's written by the wife of the guy that created Sunstone, and it is set in the Sunstone universe, but it's about different characters, and from what I can gather, a different form of expressing love.
Yeah, it looks like this one's about swinging. Sunstone was about BDSM.
Exactly. So yeah, we did like consider, oh, should we do this on a housekeeping? But then we thought, nah, fuck it, culture swap.
Yeah, we're eagerly awaiting the next Sunstone project. I can't remember what it's called.
I can't, but it's about the dude, isn't it?
Yeah.
Alan?
It's I can't remember his name. Yeah, it's like her good friend.
Yeah, I think it's Alan.
That is definitely getting culture swapped. But while we're waiting, we both like Sunstone so much.
Don't
This
you
is
mean
like the guy's
definitely
wife.
getting housekeeping?
What?
Don't you mean it's definitely getting housekeeping?
No, it's getting culture swapped.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, obviously.
Why is it obvious?
Because we loved Sunstone so much, and this is the first book in the next part of that, so we should do it as a culture swap.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah, I thought we had agreed that. Maybe we hadn't.
No, I don't think we had.
Fair enough. Well, we are definitely culture swapping it. I think we should.
You know, I collect these like proper naughty comics.
Yes.
I was reading one the other day, and I've discovered something amazing in it.
Go on. Oh,
So-
listeners, in case you don't know, Sunstone and Swing look like they're the kind of... They're a bit sexy.
But they're not utter.
They're not written for the... If you go back and listen to the episode we spoke about Sunstone, the story in these books is what
it's on
about.
YouTube.
Yeah, so there you go. You can go look at it on YouTube. It's
Actually, it's not yet, but it will be.
Oh. It might be on YouTube when you hear this. Who knows?
Who knows?
It's like we speak about that and how the books are like very much about the story,
Yeah.
and the sex feels minor and is usually part of the story anyway.
Yes.
Liam also reads naughty comics, which are very much
Just utter filth.
yes.
Utter filth. And this story is going to prove that. So I was just flicking through it before I started properly reading it. I was like, oh, this panel and this panel are very similar. And I looked and I was like, oh, maybe they're doing that thing where like it's the same part of the story but from two different perspectives. And then I looked, and no, what this comic has done is it's got the exact same story in it twice, but the second version of it is what they've called a beautified version, and it is exactly the same as the
Yeah.
first one, except all the clothes are gone.
What?
Yeah. No, like dialogue's all the same. There's still like women battling giant snakes and all sorts of stuff going
They're
on.
just naked.
They're just completely naked.
It just sounds shit. I don't know why you read it.
It's fascinating.
I can show you some stuff, Liam.
I don't think we should, but what I might do is sit down and try and read like 6 of them or something, like as if it was its own little volume of a like trade paperback. And if I think you would like it, maybe I'll lend it to you and we'll do it for like a culture swap or something.
Okay.
Because like
We're
I think
probably due a Liam and Ellie get sexy episode.
yeah, that one is our most popular YouTube video now.
We've got two, haven't we? We've got Liam and Ellie get sexy, and then back then it was called something else. But then we've also got Liam and Ellie get sexy part 2, I think.
Oh, and I think it's Get Sexier.
Oh, that's it, Get Sexier. So then we can do the trilogy. We can just every now and again we'll throw in a Get Sexy episode.
Yeah, I think we should. I think our listeners like that. I think there's certain like recurring tropes that our listeners tune in for, which are my wiping problems.
Yep.
Us getting sexy.
Yep.
And this is a genuine question that anyone listening, I would like feedback on. Do you like it when we argue, or do you find listening to two people argue stressful and you don't like it?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I
think recently we've toned down the arguing a lot.
We have. And like, listener, don't, put a lot of weight into your answer. Like, we're not going to change the way we do this just because you don't like it when we bicker.
Yes.
But I'm just curious.
Yeah, it would be interesting to know.
Yeah. So when I say listeners, please get in touch. Amanda, let us know.
Amanda, let us know. Tom, maybe.
Yeah, Tom. Tom listens, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Anyone else that could... I mean, Kat doesn't listen.
No, so there you go. Jason and Lee, maybe.
Yeah, let us know. I think they enjoyed the arguing.
That's true.
But I wonder if some people maybe stopped listening to us because of how much we argued.
Probably.
Don't give a fuck. Bye.
No. Bye.